best man win. May the best man win. May the best man win. Way out of west, a rich old man had two such different sons. Eli spoke with Bible raised and Billy spoke with guns. Daddy bloodshed left a will and Eli said that's fair. But Billy said no, let's fight it out so I can get your share. May the best man win. May the best man win. May the best man win. The mayor said, folks, let's work it out by setting up a race. And everyone said, poor preacher man, he'll fall right on his face. Eli was a city boy and Billy knew the land. Please don't go to school, Mom begged. But Eli took a stand. May the best man win. May the best man win. May the best man win. When they meet, it'll be like hot lead and cold feet. When they meet, it'll be like hot lead and cold feet on that street. It'll be like hot lead and cold feet. 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 May the best man win. May the best man win. May the best man win. Daddy Bloodshot left a will, and Eli said that's fair. But Billy said no, let's fight it out so I can get your share. May the best man win. May the best man win. May the best man win.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. We are joined by Lucas Botkin of Adaptiv Defense. So we're just going to be talking all things adaptive defense, gun industry stuff, maybe a little bit, some ambush journalism. I have an ambush question to start out, some serious allegations that were brought against Lucas Botkin and his new company. So we'll start off with that. But before I get to the ambush journalism, how's your night going, sir? And I really appreciate you taking your time to come on.
It was great. Did a little workout, ate some peanut butter. So it's great. We're doing great tonight. Got my second rain of the day. So I'm ready for a good.
Wait.
Oh,
is it white haze? Yeah, there we go. All right. I haven't even cracked it yet. Okay.
So I'm going to say this used to have a different name. Now I won't say what it was because they sent me some and they said, do not take pictures. do not show it. It was not the best PR decision, so they changed it.
Was it white rage?
It was white rage. It was white something. That's all I'm gonna say. And I got the cans, and I was like, yeah, probably a good idea to change the name. So it's white haze.
Well, if it's bad, it's either white rage or white power. The white power would be hilarious on an energy drink. That would actually be. I would buy a whole case right now if it was called white power.
I mean, some people would read that and not realize, what it really says. Anyway, all right. So what you got?
Well, so this is what we got to start out with. This was a terrible allegation that you actually stole the name Adaptiv Defense from this company here, Adaptiv Defense, which is a nonprofit for disabled veterans. It's obviously a complete joke, but I just thought that this was very funny. You had to change your logo. There was a lawsuit or something between the two of you fighting over rights, and the wheelchair guys beat you out.
So I think it's a different story here. We are going to propel this company doing training for disabled people. Truly noble cause, by the way. Way more people are going to find this website and already have Googling a different company, finding this company, and hopefully that means more people who have some limitations will get the training they need to protect themselves. So I'm helping do some marketing for them, and that's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's actually a charitable decision. Now.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Question on that though: are your shoot houses wheelchair accessible?
The one that we went to recently is. You could wheel around in there.
All right.
You could Charles Xavier that. You could hit every corner. You could hit center fed rooms.
Yeah, you'd
You
have
could,
to
yeah,
one-hand
yeah,
it,
it
but
works.
you could totally there's some monster out there in a wheelchair that could run a shoot house. Yeah. Yeah.
They're
One-handed it the whole
monsters
time.
shooting matches, rifle matches in wheelchairs, and so it can be done. It can be
Well, I
done.
mean, yeah, I mean, Nub Gunner shoots and he doesn't have any fingers. So I mean, geez. If
Funny
where there's a will, there's a
so
way.
okay, but here's the scary part about Mr. Nubs. So I went and met with him like 8 years ago at the range, and I got to the range first, a little range near here actually, and he was texting me like, "Hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes," blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Well, he drives up into the parking lot by himself. I figured he'd have someone driving him, and I was like, "Hey, dude, were you driving and texting with your?" This is what he's
Yeah, he
working
has
with.
like
This. He's got a nub and he has a hook. And he was just like, you caught me. And I was just like, all right, well, let's go shoot now. Let's see how you do. So he was texting, driving, all with. So if he
it
can
wasn't
do
even
this,
text to speech. He was
no,
not even text to
this
speech.
was no. So anyway, just funny story to start us off.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, here's a simple one. All right. Everybody is talking about the new Gen 6 Glock. Any thoughts on that? Perfected once again.
So you know what it's going to do. So all the companies that have been modifying Glocks are basically, well, they're not hosed because they will fix everyone's old Glocks still, because there's millions of Glocks on the market. Gen 3s, Gen 4s. I still shoot Gen 3s. I have Gen 4s. I also have Gen 5s. It is going to change the market for Glock customization companies, and they should probably start thinking about diversifying their business model now that this has happened. I think the gun's going to be cool. Like, it's going to work. I don't really like, I'll get one someday.
Yeah.
But it's still a Glock. I know everyone's going to say it's some new, well, actually, in this case, I don't think people are saying it's some revolutionary design. They're saying thanks, Glock, for catching up. But it's a Glock. It shoots 9mm. It's got the same stuff you can do to a normal Glock, and
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
they fixed there's a little more texture, which I like, and the optics mounting system, I'm actually skeptical on. I actually don't know if it's better than the MOS with the plastic plates.
I have been knee deep in guts and stuff. I haven't read into the Glock. They've changed the optic system.
Yeah, MOS is gone. It's now direct mount, RMR and Delta Point Pro, but they use plastic spacers.
Oh, so like the Echelon. I actually don't think it's bad. Like, there were people when I got the Echelon, I played with it. Like, I looked at how it's set up. I was like, I actually think this will work. I think it's kind of cool. It's probably going to be fine. It's probably better than the MOS if they're doing direct thread and there's like 4, 5, 6, probably 4 holes. I think that's going to be a superior system. So like, that's cool. Like, that's all right. But the worst part, the backstrap, worst part of the Glock. I'm going to file that off if I get one. I'm going to.
Oh, you're talking about the beaver tail.
Yeah. For appendix draws and stuff.
Yeah.
It's now for normal shooting and stuff, like, yeah, it's probably awesome. I mean, I rip up my hand, regularly, but I would chop that sucker down, like, so I could appendix draw it, and people will figure that out right away if they haven't already.
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. Well, something a little more serious. All right. 2 years ago versus today, what is the most important change that you've made in your day-to-day life? Obviously, work has changed a little bit, but in your personal day-to-day life, it can be mentality, routine. Last 2 years, what's the most important change you've made?
Picking one is going to be tough. I know that's like a cliched answer.
You can pick two. Yeah, you could. It's not that serious.
Okay. The biggest one is I don't have a 30-minute drive to work, which actually I like, because it gives you time to like think about, the day, the meeting you're going into. You can dread it a little bit. Not having to worry about various dynamics or things with work is huge, because I can literally wake up and in many cases step out into my living room and basically immediately start working with my new team. It is instant positivity in the day versus waking up, getting in the car, driving to work, having 30 minutes to war game out a meeting like in the conference room or something. Now it's literally we go straight to work, and it's 98% positivity. Like, every once in a while there'll be like, oh, we heard back from so and so, this project won't work or this thing won't work, and that's like, oh, it sucks. We've had days where like we were hit with like 3 things at once, and that day just sucked for everyone. But for the most part, it's like positivity immediately. Now, I take a couple hours to wake up. The staff know this. They've joked about how they don't ask me questions for like an hour. That's fine. Because I've got to,
As you do.
I got to get schlammered on this it takes about an hour. But it changes how the entire day goes because it is positivity from the beginning. And that's the biggest change, to be honest, in that I've had in the last 2 years. And it's been great for the mind, the body, the soul. All of that sounds really cliched, but it's also weird because I am like working out of my house. So it's like, it's right there. I don't have a 30-minute drive or 15. But even when we do get our new facility, the drive into work is going to be nice because it'll be like, hey, we have these things that we're working on, these cool things. Like, we don't have all these meetings. We try not to. I think we had a meeting today. It was like our first scheduled meeting in a while because we just don't do that, which is fun. It's nice. So anyway,
that kind of leads into the second question that I had here. Now that you're basically back to working out of your home, working out of your own space, do you wake up? Do you get nostalgia or deja vu? You're like, oh, I'm back to square 1.1 again. Yes, it's totally different this time, but it's kind of the same vibe, right? Because famously, you started your previous company out of your garage
from home.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because it's completely different dynamics and situation. For the first few weeks, it was kind of weird, like everyone coming to the house, and then I didn't have a place to escape to think and do deep work. I don't know if any of you guys have read, you have a lot of scholarly people in your chat, by the way. I don't know if they've read the book Deep Work by, I can't remember his name. Great book. If you're, especially depending on how you're wired, it's going to change how you view certain parts of your work, especially if you do creative work. So for the first month, it was really tough because I was constantly getting interrupted or talked to. And I'm also like, I engage a lot. So I didn't have like good blocks of time. So I would just leave and drive. Like, I would go drive for like an hour, 30 minutes back, be like, okay, I thought of some stuff. But yeah, no, it's completely different. And for anyone, I do want to say, like, I want to clarify, there's some people who are being very kind and generous and saying that I'm starting over and like, it's so cool. I'm not starting over completely. I've got a lot of momentum thanks to many people, some of whom are in the chat, or such as yourself, who know who I am. You've seen what I've done. People have appreciated what I've done in the past. They want to see me do it again, and they're here to support. So on our opening day with this new company, we did well over 1,000 orders. It was a considerable amount of revenue that was generated off of one sling and some swag, which, if any of you guys know me, I'm not a huge fan of swag. Like, I'm not. Like, I wanted to make legitimate product, like real products, like really cool stuff. But you guys wanted to show support. It was an easy way of getting some stuff so people could do that. So we did that. And so it's not starting from square one. I mean, even the equipment that I have, the team that I have, like being able to start with some really juiced up employees, not literally, but like, just some really square.
Nobody's teched Brantley as far as I'm aware. USPSA is not a tested sport, so you never know.
You're not wrong. And let me say, testosterone, it's a hell of a drug. So, it's a performance enhancement for work as well, not just strength. And so it's not the same. It's not at all the same. It's completely different. And when I start the third company, that's going to be completely different too, because it's a lot more initial investment, and we'll hopefully be in a building, or we'll 3PL it, however it works. And it's just going to be completely different. So there have been little things, like as I've been working on the website and like aligning like Shopify with like this help desk, and then having to go in and set up like Cloudflare talks to this and DNS. And now you have AI, which has been very helpful because I'm kind of retarded when it comes to like IT stuff. AI has been very helpful, and I thank it so that it won't kill me in the future.
Well, a little bit of
nostalgia.
Actually, in India and in Botswana somewhere. That's
but the typing speed's like 200 because man, I'm getting answers like instantly. So that's been a little nostalgic as I've kind of gone back to the beginning, like, oh yeah, this shipping thing and this thing, and then when we ship packages right after launching, a little bit of nostalgia, but it's completely different situation. And 12 years later, from back then.
Well,
11 years,
right. So you've had all of that time from like legitimately starting out 12 years ago. to now, you're starting over in the sense that it is a new company, but yeah, you have all of the preparation and all of the learning from the last 12 years to start the new company. But yeah, like you said, you have all the momentum, knowledge, skills, people around you, the team. How big is the team right now for Adaptive Defense?
We've got 4, and then we have someone who helps with like everything else, so 5. And then my wife's very involved in compliance, accounting, things like that. She does a lot of liaisoning, however you say that. She's the liaison between our professional services. So we have like an HR service that helps us with the employment compliance, because that's its own thing. And I'm just going to say it. I'm never going to have HR ever again. I'm never going to have HR. I'm going to outsource the compliance to someone else who does the legal. We will manage the culture and the performance with good leadership and supervisors, like the right people in charge. We're not going to have dedicated HR. Dedicated HR, never again. And there's some good studies and books about this, talking about how HR has been a bloated position over the last couple decades, but that's a whole other conversation. So she handles the working with the professional organizations, so that I could stay focused on the product, the customer, the vision, the direction, while also trying to develop that now so this company's set up. Now we have to execute on what we're showing and promising, but we still have to build a second company and build that brand and build that website and take all of that media. And we're still in the development process for 9 styles of clothing, I think 9 different products.
Oh, perfect. We're going to talk about that more in depth later,
so
for sure.
So now I have to actually shift fire a little bit to that. Like, we had a phone call earlier this morning with our folks in New York to get that ready, and that's a whole other process. So there are people handling the other things. So the team is 7 with me. 8? Is that 8?
Yeah,
7?
roughly.
Yeah.
So 7, I mean,
7 people.
So you guys are doing all the packaging in-house, sending
doing
out
everything,
slings and swag and all that sort of fun stuff. I checked again today, because I think last week you said you might have more in this week, but I haven't seen any more stock come in yet for the slings.
So the way we're going to do it, so we pick up more, we get more on Thursday, and then we QC them quickly, and then more on Friday. It's not, unfortunately, the wait list is insane, and it's way more than the amount we're going to get, and we're having to, I think, triple the POs of what I originally forecasted. But
good.
So yeah, it's good, but it's also like, you guys could get upset, and reasonably so. So we're going to QC the product. Then I'm going to say Shopify is awesome. Like, the number of apps and e-commerce stuff that's available now compared to when I was setting this up like 12 years ago is insane. The back-end stock notification app service we're using has a way of shooting out like 50 people emails to buy, and then another 50, and then another 50, based on first come, first serve, who signed up. Nice. And we're going to do that, because if you send it to the whole list and you have this many that want it, and you can only restock this, everyone has to re-sign up, and that's dumb.
Miserable. So I got you. Okay.
So if people don't get an email, but they hear about a restock and they're like miffed, it's because a couple hundred people got notified first. You will be next on the list for the next restock we do next week, because it looks like we're going to do restocks every week. Is basically how we're going to do things. And some of the other products, the heavy sling, the tripod strap, those show up, I think heavy slings into the month, tripod straps early January. So we're just going to be blasting restocks as we get stuff. And I'm hoping people forgive and are gracious. And as we get things figured out, we will order larger quantities, like I was working on today, so that we're stable. But the demand has been much higher than any of us could have. I mean, we could have just ordered 10x, but that would have been stupid. You see, it's a bounce.
Well, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, right? Because you sell out of your initial stock and you think, oh, there's all this demand there. You 10x your PO, and then it's like, well, actually, there was only double that demand, and so now I have 800 slings or 1,000 slings sitting in my my living room right now in packages.
Or like the momentum and the story of me launching the new company is great the first couple weeks, and then everyone's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Now they're on to like the next thing, and that can happen too. So, but we have some plans to, make things interesting, and I don't think that's going to happen too much, but who knows? Anything's possible. So,
Well, in your video that you put out a couple days ago, 6 days ago, last week, basically, Lucas Botkin's next company is here. This is, of course, on Lucas's Botkin's channel, which you guys should go check out. In here, you mentioned early on about how you had noticed bad practices, bad ideas, bad ethics within the gun industry, a lot of things that you had seen firsthand when starting up T-Rex Arms. So I wondered if you could be a little bit more specific in that sort of thing, what you see the current gun industry doing that's bad, and how your company is avoiding those things.
Let's see, where do we start? So the first one is obviously one of the big issues that is less prevalent now than used to be, was the whole pre-order culture that screwed a lot of you guys out. And there's a couple companies that you guys have probably bought product from, never got the product, got screwed out of the money, or your money was just gone for a prolonged period of time that you could have deployed elsewhere while waiting for the product to come out. And that's not something our company is ever going to do. Like, I do not want to do pre-orders. Like, it's a way of generating capital to invest in the business, which is why a lot of people do it, or to cover debt real quickly. I don't like it because it screws you guys over. You guys pay me 100. Let's say the rail, right? I'm trying to target it like 280, 290. Let's say I put a pre-order up right now. Well, I would generate well over 6 figures of revenue that I could then go and use to order the product and do whatever. But if problems happen, like our testing goes wrong, the machine shop isn't able to do things, or the machines break down, there's many things that can go wrong, or the shipment gets lost or whatever. Well, you guys are out $280 in a not so great economy right now, waiting for a product that maybe now takes 8 months, when you could have used the $280 to, I don't know, buy something you needed right now, buy some online class to make you better at your job. Like, there's all kinds of things you could do with that money instead. So moving forward, like, still not going to do the whole pre-order thing. I don't like it. We've even had military organizations want to place orders for the targets now, even though the targets aren't, like, we don't have them in hand. And even though a lot of companies in the government sector will take like large amounts of money and then fulfill later, I still don't like that. Like, I believe Andrew is much more of a, hey, our product's available and you buy it and we get the product to you, it's already done. I love that approach, even if it's for a professional organization. So with those targets, I tell people, I emailed a bunch of people yesterday and just said, we're not taking orders yet because we haven't even gotten them, and I'm not going to take people's money until we're ready. There's still some companies in the industry that do pre-orders. I don't think it's necessarily a horrible, evil, vile practice or anything, but it shoots more people in the foot than I think it should. The second thing, and this is something we're running into right now, we're starting to notice, is with the training industry, specifically the law enforcement training sort of place, is I've got some really cool guys who have been offering some training to law enforcement, active shooter response stuff, very important, noble stuff. Single officer rolls up, there's a shooting inside the building. Does he wait outside for 20 other men before running in, or not running in still? Well, hopefully not, because that's not how it works. They need to go in, risk their life. That's how it works, to address the shooter. And oftentimes being successful, even if they're not real effective, but the shooter ends up killing himself or herself or itself, whatever. Cop goes in.
Lots of they themselves.
Lots of
yeah.
Yeah. I'm losing track, dude. And so we're trying to facilitate, hey, let's get some high level training for these individual officers who are going in and shooting some truly disgusting people. And we're running into, with certain agencies, they're like, oh, well, you guys don't have a certificate. You don't offer something for the law enforcement. They need something like to have. And we're like, that's gay. Like, they're there for the training. A piece of paper doesn't mean anything. And there's these other institutions that are offering pieces of paper for, in my opinion, and I might be biased, but based on what I know about these different institutions, the training's not as good. It's the instructors are not as relevant. They don't have as much experience, and they are doing a disservice, in my opinion, to these law enforcement officers by putting so much stock in a piece of paper that says you graduated such and such class, you aced the last test, you are certified to run into a building or whatever, when the class was half 4 stories. It wasn't doing reps. It wasn't good flat range. And so I've started to get a little more involved in this process. And I'm like, oh, this is a problem. Like, the kind of training law enforcement has, that is available to them for these more specific tactical classes, is not of the greatest caliber. So I want to try to fix some of that, which is very important. Now, obviously, I'm sure some people are, don't like that because, they don't like law enforcement. And I have my own reservations about law enforcement. I have been very outspoken about them. But right now, the only people, for the most part, who are running in and shooting despicable people, who are shooting large groups of people, are cops. And until that changes, I want to help those people because that is noble. And once things change, then yeah, we can figure out some different training institutions for everyone. Maybe we have private law enforcement. I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms.
PMCs or whatever you call it or whatnot. But
Dude,
no, I think
Corpo,
that's,
cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're gonna have.
It's to do with CYA insurance nonsense. They need to sign off on the piece of paper to show that you're competent. All right. So I need the letter. I need the challenge coin or whatever it is. You guys should do challenge coins. That should be your next thing. That should be your next thing. The
What's great is
challenge coin.
All the guys we're working with are like, it's gay. And I'm like, I don't have to like sit down and have a conversation to explain my point of view. They all agree. So great dudes, great people. And I'm looking forward to doing that. There's other behaviors too. But yeah, that's a whole, that could be its own video, but
well, yeah, Central Sands Defense, our resident Ellie Cool Guy says Ellie requires a paper cert as it documents their training hours towards recertification each year. Even a 2 or 4 hour training block comes with a cert that gets added to your training file. But that's so that it's all for tracking and making sure that you have it. Even if the training is garbage, it's like, well, you did it though, right?
Yep. Well, and it depends. Not all agencies are doing the exact same thing. There are some agencies that want the piece of paper to go, I took classes with all these people, I am good. That is the problem. Not, hey, I just do a paperwork thing. Like, oh, we'll accommodate those people. Like, that's easy. The problem are the guys who go, since I took these classes, I am a professional. I am the best. And we've seen it in the comments. We've seen people list their massive resumes of who they've trained with. And that doesn't, like, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. It all matters on what you can put up right now. That's what matters, not who you sat in the presence of and heard the same war story 5 times because you took the same class with the same bro vet dude 5 times in a row. Like, that doesn't do anything for you except for dopamine. I mean, yeah,
it's fun. It's tactical tourism, right? It's tactical resorts. You go have an experience somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Safari.
Yeah. Well, so talking about Adaptiv Defense, product focused company, that's where you guys are getting the money. You're not doing pre-orders for it. You talked it. Now, some people in the chat were saying you received $6 million in funding. Others people said 271. Not sure what that's about.
That would be great. I would love to have that. Oh man. Yeah, come on. Where is that? Show me the money.
Well, but let's speaking of products, let's go ahead and talk about products now. I'm clicking
the best
on
products.
Website.
Just watch.
All right. So completed products. I have a couple problems, which we'll get to. Okay. But the carbine slings, this is what you got done, ready to go, right? So carbine, DMR, heavy slings. The DMR and heavies aren't out yet. We're thinking later this month, beginning of January. SHOT Show. Going to be running around SHOT Show with a bag of slings, passing them out, shooting them at people. No.
Well, that would be briefcasing. That's against the rules. No, we'll not be doing that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I can't do that.
Yeah. So, what's good about these slings? Sell them to me real fast, because I was trying to buy one. I told you the other day I was trying to buy one, and they were all gone.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you, it has our tag on it, and that's what makes it really good.
Fair enough. Let's go. Does it come with a challenge coin?
I will say, I saw people reviewing our work and they were like, this is just the same nylon company that everyone else. And you know what? I don't disagree with that. Like, I'm not insanely proud of our launch portfolio of product, but this is what people don't realize. We've had 6 months. We've done all of this in 6 months, which is, I'm very proud of what we've done in 6 months, but we're not a 10-year company. And I think that's something, and I even told, we've been talking about that. I'm like, hey, people are going to expect 10 years of experience from me on day one with a new company, which is physically impossible. Unless if I had $6 million in funding to start, there's some things we could have done. Now, even having money, that kind of money, I can't throw it at factories to make me product faster. I trust me. I wish there were more problems you could throw money at in the world. And sometimes
a lot of
it's
the factories have POs they have to finish. So it's like they can't,
I can't pay them
out of the way. Mhm.
Right. I can't pay them to bump someone. And if they agreed to let me pay them to bump them, I wouldn't want to work with them because that's not very ethical. So
Well, right,
that
because now
kind of
you're the next guy that
ruins
gets
that.
paid to get bumped out of the way.
Exactly. I have to just keep enough money to always win that fight. And that's stupid. So a lot of people are expecting, an 8-year, 10-year company at launch. And it's like, no, that's not, it's not how this works. I think Adaptiv will be in a very good place at the end of year 2. Like right now, this is bare bones launch. The sling was a product that we were like, I wanted a new design of a sling for of various reasons, but I also wanted a sling that was a little more slim and padded. Which, what's funny is, I think there's only one other company that's ever done this that we found like last minute before we launched that has done a 1-inch padded sling. Like everyone does like normal
The thicker
webbing.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, they do normal webbing or they get bigger. And I was like, this is actually an accident, kind of. He made it too small, and I was like, that's sick. And then we worked on it some more, and I was
There
like,
you go.
actually, this is dope. It's perfectly comfortable for like a normal AR. And it's been way more people want this sling than the others, and that's fine. So we have 3 flavors that are all a little different. So the DMR sling, which actually really good carbine sling. It's a lot like the Slingster, a little bit more padded. Very similar to that other company.
The other one
That
that's
I,
out there
you
that
know,
does the sling thing. Well, I
yeah,
mean, there's
it's
only so many different
you
ways to attach
can't.
a rifle to your
No,
back, you know.
no. And what would be worse? What would be worse than me launching slings to start is if I launched these slings and said, "Hey guys, these are the best slings ever." Like that would be stupid because guess what? It's webbing. It's got a quick pull. It's made out of Hank Hypalon, which other people do too. And it goes on one end of the gun, it goes on the other. Like
Yeah, I mean, come
that's
on,
it.
man. You gotta up
There's
your
nothing.
marketing
There's
game.
nothing.
The
Oh
redefining
my
of the
god.
sling genre by Lucas Botkin's new company. You
Patent
know, it's
pending. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Trusted
We
by,
could have.
you gotta
No.
show some GBRS group using them. Trusted by operators
No.
everywhere.
I will
I
say,
think
I
that's
want
really how
you
you should market it.
go down. I wanna
Oh,
bring something up to everyone. Click on
hmm
the cutie swivel. I'm most proud about this. Click on this.
hmm
I want you to observe when the page finally loads. Go up, scroll up, higher.
Scroll. I'm
Or
all the way up.
okay, there we go. No,
Yeah.
that's hot. Okay.
Oh,
I,
it's loading on your end. You're having connection issues, not
oh,
me.
that's my fault. All right, so I am most proud, and we might be the only firearms company who has ever taken the time of day to make a autoplay video for a website of a cutie swivel.
Attention to
And
detail right there. Okay.
yeah. Every product, every page on our website, except I think the terms and conditions, has its own dedicated video. And
The terms and
I'm proud of
conditions
that.
should be people like
Yeah.
violating the terms and conditions. Like, don't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the warranty page, it's a guy aiming a gun at you like right away. Which,
Mm.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
So I'm just proud of this because it's a cutie swivel. And when we talked about it, I was like, hey, we need video of this. Just go get some cool shots of it
Put it on the table. Yep.
Yeah, good enough. I'm just very proud of it. It's just kind of a funny thing. If you go to the swag page, the lifestyle page, there's a great photo of one of my cats. Nice little scroll down. It's on the patches. If you go to the patches
Where's
page,
patches?
it was on
There we go. There we go. Look at that.
That's Smudge.
That's
Great
how
cat.
you sell it. That's marketing right there.
Yeah. So that alone, there's extra like 50 grand. No, no, great cat. She just ran up while we were taking photos, and we were like, all right. Like,
It works.
yeah.
I think there's something about people who are terminally online and cats. They love it. They eat that up.
I also understand people that don't like cats. Like I don't trust people that don't like dogs. I don't like just straight up. I don't trust them. People that don't like cats, I can understand, even though I've got 4 cats. Like I get it. But I like all animals. So
Are we getting Adaptiv plate carriers for dogs? That's a niche.
So
it's a niche product right there.
Well, funny you say that. Yeah, I used to have people ask me about canine products back like a long time ago for cameras, like harnesses that would have cameras so they could live stream back to the operators sending the dog in first, and they could see.
Yeah,
like,
Call of Duty
dog,
Ghost.
like
Call
of Duty. Yeah. So I had a company reach out. It was years ago about trying to use Kydex to make like camera mounts, and so it's funny you say that because who knows, someone could reach out. I mean, I think that market's kind of stabilized, and there's enough product out there, and dogs they're still used, but I feel like they're a little less used than maybe they used to be. I don't know. Anything's possible. I mean, we will basically make anything. Well, that's good within reason. But we are positioned to make niche things. We've gotten some very interesting requests. Like I'll share one with the class. An example. A guy emailed me and said, "Hey, the company that made the adapter that goes on OpsCore OpsCore amps that goes onto a is that right? Yeah, goes on a Peltor mount. That company's out of business because of, I guess, some shenanigans or something." And he was like, "Nobody makes that part. Can you guys make that part since you provide solutions to problems? Can you bring that to market?" Super niche product for adapting. Oh my gosh, I said it. Adapting one set of ear pro to, okay.
He said the line. He said the line.
Oh no. Yeah, take a shot. So that's an example of the kind of product where I added it to the list, and like we have a priority list, and I actually had to go out and buy one of those for my set of amps that OpsCore sent me, because I don't like the mount that goes back here. I want to mount it center for stability reasons. And that's the thing where it's like, yeah, if nobody makes it anymore and some people still want it and it's still being used operationally and it's still like a necessary product, it's 10 grand to get the mold made. And that's a Chinese mold. Like American mold is more like 18 grand. It's a little bit of change, but if it's something we can add to our site that solves a problem and we'll eventually make our money back after 3 years, like, I like doing that kind of thing. We're not
to sell to make back 18K or even 10K in a mold.
It is, but I'm not prioritizing making money, because my philosophy is, if you focus on the mission, you focus on the product and the customer, and you don't even do a thing for a money decision, the money will come. Like the money will happen. And that strategy has worked before. I think it's going to work again. So a product as insignificant and small as that interests me.
Okay.
As long as it's defense related, and it's not some like weird thing,
well, people YouTube in the chat were asking for some weird degenerate stuff. So yeah, not
no. You have scholars.
No.
Now you only have scholars in here. You don't have those people.
Only you must be new around here. But I do want to talk about the in development type stuff that we got.
Yes,
what you guys have been doing for the last 6 months is design, testing, theory crafting, all this sort of fun stuff, right? So I mean, we got full placards, pistol belts, CQB target system. This is the one that I have a problem with. It's not.
I don't care.
It's not realistic. All right. Now we'll get into it later.
Oh,
we have
okay.
the inner belt. Everybody wants to talk about the rail. We'll talk about the rail and just some other nylon stuff. We got the modern heat rig, which is kind of cool. I like that. Kind of fun. And just some other stuff on there. But I got to bring this up now. Okay.
Okay, man.
Why are they all white? I feel like for police officers,
he's Asian.
Right?
He's mixed. He's mixed.
I'm just saying for police officers, all right, if we're trying to train them to be realistic about who they might be engaging with, I'm just saying the targets you're choosing to show. I don't know, man. This is like a meeting target member or something like that.
So I'm gonna give you the answer. Okay, this is the real answer, but we're gonna solve this problem. But it's the real answer for now. AI sucks at doing people with melanin. It doesn't look good. It's always like fro, like
It's just absurd.
It doesn't work. We're also taking. I think part of the problem too is we're taking photos of white people and then telling the AI, "Oh yeah, add 30% into their skin," and that's not the exact prompt, but it's not working well. My
Yakubian science going on here. We're trying to re-engineer.
What I would far prefer, and this costs a lot more money, but again, it's a better product. I would prefer doing a casting here in Nashville at our facility and having people send in photos of themselves and actually bringing in real people, because the AI, it works. Like, yeah, we're changing our features like a little bit. We're making it not look like us, because that's a rule. I don't ever want a student to see one of us in public that they've also shot on a shoot house. That's like breaking the third or fourth wall. I don't even know. I don't like it. I think it's kind of cringy.
Something weird about it, right?
It's weird, especially if there's a target of me and then I go to that schoolhouse later. There's people that have done that, and I just think it's cringe and dumb. So we play with AI. I would rather do real people. And if we do that, there will be like, hey, I need yeah, this
Yeah.
ethnicity, I need this height, I need this thing, I need this. We've also had a lot of different requests from departments and military units. Like we've had people be like, we want PLA uniforms. And I'm like, well, I mean, you don't
Yeah.
really have to do any PID for that. Like you see the uniform.
No,
And,
it's gonna be Venezuelan.
like,
Did you see was it
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know who they sent in to take that vessel today, but yeah, somebody dropping out of a helicopter to take that.
We will find out in a few years based on how many books come out.
Right. Yeah,
We
of
will
course,
know.
of course.
We will
Well,
know.
is that a SEALs job or is that a CAG job? Taking a vessel.
Well, it's well, I mean, anyone can do it. No, it's a SEAL. No, it's a SEAL job. But no, it's podcasts if you're from one group, and it's books if you're from another.
Right.
Or books and podcasts. That's kind of.
But you can do both. I mean, come on.
Goes.
Look at Sean Ryan. Actually, has Sean Ryan written a book yet? He probably has.
I don't. Well, I mean, I doubt he'll write it. He'll just have a ghostwriter from his agency.
Of course,
like his firm will write it. But I've had people offer to do that for me. It's about $40,000 to have someone ghostwrite a whole book for you. Which
I feel like that's easy to make your money back on, though, which is why everybody does it.
Exactly.
It's got to be easy.
My plan is when I write my book, which will be in a year or two, probably maybe ish, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to do like 20 drafts like people normally do. I want to do a few, but I'm going to leave all the punctuation that's crap. I'm going to leave the way I write in it for a couple of reasons. One, it's authentic, but two, I think it'll make the audiobook reader, it'll like mess it up.
No, you have to do your own audiobook. That would be funny.
People don't want to hear my voice, dude. It's too nasally. But the third reason is I want people to see it's not AI because there's just too many problems. And AI will be too like fluffed and perfect sentences and grammar, and that's dumb.
Yeah.
So we don't want that. So
we gotta talk about it. This is the one that's gotten the most talk, I would say. The unnamed rifle rail. Can we name it right here, or can my chat suggest names?
I mean, how do you know that's not the name?
Unnamed. I mean, we're gonna call it like the adapter or something, but no E, so it's just the adapt R, and then you have like the adapt S for the shorter
R
one.
series. We have the R
so
series.
You adapt R, and then you do the adapt S for the shorter one, or something like that. I mean, there's ways to do that.
No, it's not S. It's $. We're gonna.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys showed this off in the video. I still don't know how it mounts to the upper receiver yet. You guys have kind of been a little coy about that. The most curious part.
Well, so the reason is there's obviously patents out there, and we have attorneys that are involved. We don't want to obviously infringe on people's IP. I mean, there's not a lot of patents, but there are some.
Mm-hmm.
There are some.
The hard R rail. Does that work for a name? Hard R rail.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stiff rail, dude. Like the flex. We're keeping the flex down. So, yeah, we're trying to navigate that. We also originally we were trying to make it work with the BCM barrel nut, and Paul at BCM was actually helping with that some. He had some of his engineers look at it and send some CAD stuff to us recently. We were trying to make it work on a BCM barrel nut because I was like, how cool would it be if everyone with BCMs, if they were like, yeah, I used this rail for forever. I want to just chuck this off, put this one on. Yeah. Well, Paul was fine with it because Paul's based. He was like,
that's very nice of him. That's like, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people would be upset at that. You're like, you're going directly after our market.
No, he's a gem. And what's sad is Paul's like in the shadows. They don't go to SHOT Show. He doesn't do things like he's not out there, but I've talked to him on the phone. We've been texting a lot. Really actually ever since the thing incident 6 months ago. I wasn't trying to say anything. What the heck? So he's been great. But yeah, he sent me like full CADs that his engineers worked up for how it could maybe work. But then he even said like, hey, to make this work, you're gonna have to make an extra part, and that's probably not a good idea. Like he even said, hey, this solution that allows you to use my part probably isn't good for your company. So like he is quite very cool. So I will always have BCM stuff in my armory, whether I'm using my rail or his rails or I'm using his guns. I'll just put my rails on them.
Sorry, I don't know if you read that or not. Just unfortunate phrasing.
Yeah.
I have an AR railed by Lucas Botkin. It's like, what? The best damn rail ever? No, that's too simple. Rail McRailly is another good one.
The BDR? No, we can't do that.
Yeah, BDR. Big damn rail.
No.
It is a chunky rail. When Brantley was in the live chat the other night, he said it was like 14 ounces or something like that. I'm like, that's sounds light for a thick, chunky boy rail. I'm like, I'm a little skeptical over here.
It's lighter, so it's on par with definitely on par with like the Risk 3, a fat M-Lock. It's on par with the JPs, I want to say, the Accurized, like crazy. I have one like over there. It's on par with the larger rails, but obviously if you're comparing it to a skinny M-Lock, yeah, it's heavier. But that's the point. It's heavier. There's more material to it. It's a larger girth for cooling, grabbing, suppressors. So yeah, it's a heavier rail. What's nice though is I think a lot of people we're going to make a 13.5 or 13.2, whatever the size is for 13.7s and 14.5s. I think a lot of people will buy the short ones. And at that point, you don't really feel it unless you make your gun look like some stupid Instagram build with like optics up to here and like
oh yeah, I need a Maul and a HRT Owls and I need a GBRS Hydra with another
all at the
laser
same time.
unit on that.
And at that, and then they complain about the weight, and it's like, dude, nothing's gonna save you, not even a carbon fiber rail. Like,
yeah,
you're screwed. So
you did that to yourself. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
When you put all that stuff on there, it's like complaining about a 10.5 that's 10 pounds.
Yeah, I will say
you ruined your rail, or you ruined your rifle.
I will say I think I got a little bit of a prediction. So I'm going on a rifle shooting trip pretty soon here. I think next week. I'm going to shoot for 3 days straight, a couple thousand rounds a day, 1,500-ish, depending on how aggressive. And I have new suppressors to test. I have a new Huxworks Mark 1 set up, the new SOCOM build. So they sent some stuff over for me. That's fun.
I have the new Gunworks Mark 1, right?
Yes, and I have I think it's the Black Magic, the special can that goes on it, whatever. But the thing here though that I think is going to happen in the next few years is I'm moving to shooting suppressed on everything for the TBI, micro TBI situation. And the New York Times just did a great article on that, talking about bringing it to light.
I saw that.
Army's done some stuff. And but my goal is short flow through cans, because I'm not trying to suppress the gun all the way. I don't care. I just need to take down a lot of concussion. And keep the gun light and mobile so I can move around and shoot it like a normal shooting gun, because suppressors kind of suck. Like they just do if you're trying to be dynamic and do stuff. So my goal is like all my guns will have K cans. They will all be flow throughs, most likely. So Surefire sent me the new RC4.
Okay.
Great
the
suppressor.
RC4 skin. It's the RC4 skin. It is very uncircumcised.
Well, I'm not King David, and I'm not looking for those. So, or 200 of those, I should say. So,
was it 200 or 100?
It was 200. I looked it up recently.
Okay.
So don't ask why. So the RC4 Mini, I left a comment on someone's Instagram. It was great. So I had to look it up I had to be accurate. So minis. I think a lot of people are going to be getting minis on the guns. And if you're building a 13.5, 13.7, or like a 14.5 gun, put a short can on there. Like, stop putting massive cans on there and then complaining about the weight. Like, you have a longer barrel, do a short can. They're really good now. Yeah, it's going to be louder than a long can, but it's going to be doing most of the work for you. And then you still have a lightweight rifle you can move around with and do stuff. And or you just go to the gym, which I know is weird hearing that from me, but I don't really have a problem with the heavy guns. I mean, I'm shooting 19-pound sniper rifles and stuff. And like, then when I grab an AR, I'm like, it's
feels light. A little bit different. Yeah. But no, I only own K cans. Those are the only cans I own. Just because RK size cans. Just for me personally, it's like the difference between 141 and 143 decibels. Like, I'm never shooting without hearing protection, or even now I'm usually doubled up on hearing protection, because I shoot a lot and I'm young. So I'd like to be able to hear when I'm twice my age currently.
Wait, you're young?
And I mean, I'm kind of an old man now. I'm 30 years old now. But I mean,
I'm older than you? Oh my God.
Well, dude, everybody gets that. They're like, wow, John, you're looking rough. I just turned 30. So yeah.
Well, you have your own company. I mean, that's why.
Well, no, I have a wife and 3 kids. That's what it is.
And that, I mean, you're stacking everything. Yeah.
Elderly, ancient, whatever, you know. Fair enough. But yeah, well, so we talked about the products you got in development, but one of the things that you wanted to do and wanted to focus on with this new company is being able to be nimble, adaptive, you could say, and kind of find those or fill those gaps in the market, do really special products. You kind of named one of them earlier with the adapter for the Peltors. But what are some of the other fun projects you guys are looking at doing? Like, what are the gaps in the market that you're looking at right now that you're like, we can do something about this?
So we had a brainstorm meeting earlier today because we have to start working on the second batch of products. Because what you see on the website in development, a lot of those are mostly done. Now they're in like the phase of like getting tweaked and like messed with and tech packed and then quoted. So like most of those are pretty done. They're now just getting they're getting made more elegant before production. So now we're starting to look at, hey, we need to start thinking about the next batch of products. And I think the spreadsheet was like 20, it's close to 30 products, I think. Now obviously that's too many, and you don't want to do all the ideas all at once, as fun as that is, because then it's hard to get anything done. So we are having to do a little bit of triage, and um, there's a lot of nylon related products. There's some plate carrier stuff I want to do that, and it may not, the result may not be exactly what I want. Like I think there needs to be a pretty big push in the plate carrier market to push, like, change how people view wearing armor and for a prolonged period of time. And I would like to try to be a part of that change. I don't know if we will achieve that, but everyone just keeps doing the same thing, in my opinion. It works, it sells, people buy it, but someone needs to challenge the status quo for how armor is worn for a prolonged period of time, hard plate specifically.
So what do you mean by that?
So, quite simply, you have two sappy plates, right? And they're curved, and they don't match usually the curve exactly of the human being. You have two nylon boxes, and they have a box that runs across, and you have two boxes that run across the top, and you put the boxes on your body. Well, guess what? The human body isn't shaped like a box. Like, some people are massive with their traps, and then they're like small waists, and they don't do leg day because that's lame. Some people have a gut and they're like smaller up top because the human body isn't a box unless you're Elon Musk in that one photo. So,
Block man.
like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I'm like, so how do we make wearing a plate carrier, designing a plate carrier more comfortable? Some of the issue is the plates, because the plates are like, hey, we're going to make the same plates for everyone, and we're going to hope that they fit and they have to work. But there's some things like um, filling some of the negative space with maybe some different gels, different materials that people haven't played with to like allow it to sit more naturally on the body and not have these huge gaps. So we're looking into it. I can't promise we're going to make any discoveries, but I will give a hint. I will give a hint that we are looking at. We're looking at people who use equipment for a prolonged period of time, because those are the people that, like, those are the things we need to be looking into. And like like that guy. And so I don't know what the reference is.
No,
So
it pops up when somebody goes through Ko-fi, and I forgot to change it. So that was what it was for the last stream. So it's that might pop
that's
up
great.
a couple
That's
of
great.
times. Just ignore it. Ignore it.
It's all good. It's all, and I know what I was gonna say. Just kidding. I forgot. No, I know. So we're looking at ultra marathon runners and what they wear. And my wife has done an ultra. Like, I have her, like, her vest. I've seen her gear and stuff. Like, it has very specific things in the design that allows runners to carry some weight, not a lot, but they have to carry water and food and stuff. And these disgusting peanut butter jelly packets, like disgusting,
Yeah. No.
disgusting crap.
In the two
You
marathons I've run, disgusting.
You're a knower.
Yeah.
You're a knower.
I'm a knower.
Yeah.
No,
So,
when I was 17 and 18, when I was young, I ran a couple marathons.
yes.
Not
Okay.
anymore. No.
So
Yeah.
there's these vests that Solomon and all these different companies make that are comfortable when you wear them on the body for like 10 hours and longer. And so we're looking at stuff like that, scuba gear, different things like that, to go. Pretty sure there's some ideas from these other industries that we could bring over into the tactical side, because the tactical side, this is the problem with the tactical side. It's very incestuous and bastardist. I don't know if that's the right word. Yeah, bastardist. People in the GWAT, we had the big diaper plate carrier thing, and that came after Gulf War, I guess, and they had some weird flak jacket stuff, and then Black Hawk Down, they had all that. Everyone just kind of copied like what happened originally and then made like little tweaks. Nobody, in my opinion, except for maybe SNS with the plate frame, went, hey, we're gonna really like rewind and like relook at everything and try to do something completely new. Everyone's just been reiterating off of like the original Mayflowers, the original Diamondback Tactical, the original big Army issue stuff. And I think there's some improvements that can be made, and I want to try to do that. It's expensive. because we don't know if it's going to work. Like it'd be one thing if we just went, hey, we're going to make a slick carrier. It's going to be like everyone else's, but it has our name. People are going to buy it, and we're going to generate, $500,000 in revenue with this product like everyone else's. Like that would be great. But I want to invest some time and money in trying to figure out how we push the needle. And if it works, well, it'll be way more successful. Now, if we go too far, like the Cybertruck, people may be like, absolutely not. That looks hideous.
Yeah, but didn't it sell crazy though? So maybe even if it does look ugly.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the SNS plate frame is a pretty good example of that. Like it came out and it has some problems as far as like comfort, but people use it. Like Maritime, it got used a lot for Maritime stuff, and it got picked up for one of the Hunger Games movies. I think it was the second one because it looked futuristic-y and interesting. But yeah, there were people that didn't like that because it looked too weird. Now, it had some issues because it didn't play well with other people's gear, and it was kind of uncomfortable. There was not a lot of padding. And it was more for maritime operations, but it looks interesting. It looks different. And I appreciate that. I had one for a little bit and I got rid of it. I mean, it's very uncomfortable, but so that's what we want to do. We want to look at common products, see if we can add our spin, our twist, our upgrade, our thing. In the meantime, though, we do have to make some products that are a little bit more known, like slings, for example, that like people want to buy, and they're good products, but they're not like, we're not investing $100,000 in R&D because, we know it's a thing that's going to work. We just have to make it and
known quantity
make it
items,
good.
basically.
It's a known quantity. So we're going to have like some of those happening, and then we're going to have our weird crap. So my goal is to invest a healthy percent of Adaptiv's revenue and the clothing company, whenever we do that, into R&D. Like it's not going to be like a 2% or 3% of gross. It's going to be like, no, it's going to be like 20, 25. I think MSA, they're like 60% of their revenue is R&D, something insane.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. And well, they come up with cool stuff. And so I want to do the same thing. So I think that's going to make us very different than a lot of companies, because a lot of companies just they can't afford to invest in R&D like that. They just can't sling money around like that. They have to make known quantity items they know they can sell that don't challenge the status quo too much.
Now, what do you think about this? So the civilian user tends to be more general, right? Because they don't know what they're doing. They just like have to be prepared for like generic fantasy situation in their head most of the time.
Yep.
But it seems like with these more niche, more focused products, let's say, they're tailored to almost like a specific solution to a specific problem that a professional has, right? Like that maritime plate carrier, basically. That was for a very, very specific application. So how do we balance that when I would guess most of your clientele is consumer civilian side, but you're designing products that are more specialized? Is there some sort of conflict there? How do we resolve that?
So there is and there isn't. So off the top of your head, what's the best plate carrier right now?
Oh, shoot. For me, I'm a terrible person to ask for that. I bought a plate
you
carrier
have
like 7
to
years
answer.
ago.
No,
Shoot.
okay, so no,
Whiskey 2-4.
No. Technologically speaking, what is the best plate carrier or the most interesting plate carrier on the market right now? Your chat already is probably saying it.
Cry-ABS. I'm cheating. I looked at the chat.
Oh, see?
I'm
I called it. Yes, the Cry-ABS. Now, here's what's funny. Most people don't need the Cry-ABS. That is a huge plate carrier. It's awesome for load bearing. I've got one, super comfortable. I try not to wear it because it is very large and I'm not doing stuff for a prolonged period of time. But arguably speaking, the Cry-ABS is the most technologically advanced plate carrier on the market right now, in my opinion. It's also why it's like $900. I think the government price for the full kit's probably like $1,500 or something. There are civilians that buy that, and it would be a perfectly acceptable plate carrier to have if things go awry and you've got to wear that sucker outside of your friend's store for 3 days because a certain class of people has decided they're pissed off at the world and they want to steal from Nike and burn down tire shops, and they go after the Michelin Man.
Targets for these people.
Exactly. So like what you're saying is true. And I think there's this conversation that it needs to be had. And I think we're going to have it with this company. Well, I'm sure we're going to, that civilians think they need product for them. And I don't think that's necessarily a good way to look at it, because if you demand that, you're going to get crap. It is better to demand the highest level military type equipment and get that, like an English longbow, right? Or a crossbow for that matter, instead of, now I need like a civilian peasant hunting bow. It's like, no,
Well,
no,
I'm
you want a
just
crossbow. You want to blast a French knight off his horse with a crossbow and pierce his armor, or have a really good longbow. You want the pinnacle of whatever's being used militarily, not a product designed specifically for a civilian. And I had this backwards. Like back when I was designing gear years ago, besides holsters, I think is the one exception where designing for people that carry pistols concealed, most people carrying concealed are civilians. Like that's kind of a different sort of approach. But when you're talking hard use military gear for direct action application, the military will always drive technology, just like it's doing in aerospace. So the best product that a civilian will buy is if they can buy a Cry AVS or similar. Now, if Cry all of a sudden said no civilian sales for the AVS, it's only for SOCOM. Well, obviously we'd all be pissed off, because it's like, hey, come on. I want that plate carrier. I want the kit. I want the liquidation US Marine Corps Coyote AVS kit, which I've got one of those. So I actually think more companies designing for more military application is going to lead to, especially if they make them available, is going to lead to better equipment for civilians. Because most of the gear I have, I don't think any of it's designed for civilians. It is all military application equipment. My ops core, yeah, that wasn't designed for civilians in mind. I mean, it's a like $2,800 helmet that's designed to stop all kinds of stuff. And yeah, I'm glad it wasn't designed for me, because I have like a high-end piece of military equipment used at the highest levels in the military, and I own it. Like,
okay.
that's sick. So
Right.
I don't know. It's a long-winded answer. I
No,
don't know if it
yeah,
answers your question.
I totally get the quality aspect of it, because yeah, civilians usually, like, I fall into this trap for years and years and years of just getting the generic quality thing that was good enough, which I think is what most people probably do, rather than chasing like the cutting edge or the best.
Mhm.
My question was a little bit more about the design in and of itself, right? Because when you get super niche for, like, again, that maritime plate carrier, actually not good for civilians, right? Unless you're planning on doing like maritime operations.
Exactly. Yeah. You live in Louisiana.
Well,
Yeah.
even if it's crazy high quality, even if it's designed perfectly for this application, it's now so niche that it's lost relevance to everybody outside of that one application. So I guess maybe my question for you is, if you're designing as a company products for these hyper niche scenarios, how does a civilian who doesn't even have that possibility of that application look at that, right? And because, well, I don't know, maybe I have this backwards. Do you think that civilians are driving your sales more than like the professional side of users?
So I would say, again, this is where it comes down to, it's not about the money. It's not about the money for me. It never has been. I'm going to make what I want to make for things that I think need to be solved. And there will be some civilians out there who are like, I want that because I see some crazy scenario in which I'm in a boat because I live in Louisiana or Mississippi or somewhere, or flooding is happening. We saw that happen even in North Carolina. And they will then buy the product. But for me, it's like, if we have some products that are niche, that are lookers, right? Because people go and they look at it, and they're like, that's cool, that's sick, I don't need it, but it's cool. Like, there's actually a business strategy there. In fashion, especially, you make some fashionable items that nobody's going to buy, but it brings people to the website. And then you have all the common items. It's like purple loot, and then you have your common loot. People will buy the common loot, but they want to see the purple loot. They may not need it, but they see it. I think a lot of it's that we'll have our niche products that's like, hey, this is a pouch that was designed to fit this specific radio and this adapter on the front of it, and it's really weird, and we're only going to sell 100 of them, but I know those 100 are going to like some really cool people that I want to assist with that product. Civilians will see that and be like, oh, that's really cool. I don't have that radio because that's a $50,000 Paris radio and I can't get that. But Adaptiv has this radio wing over here that is designed for my normal radio, and I can buy that instead. Oh, and it's actually cheaper because it's less material. And then they buy that one instead, but they see that there's two options in some cases. And so we'll have the common loot items like the slings that hold no special unique aspect for a certain customer base. and they can buy those while seeing what else is being made. And we're going to take stuff from those other products and bring those over. Like the radio wing, like I've already got some changes for that product based on some feedback I've gotten for other people for military radios. And then I was like, oh, this would actually be really good for the civilian radio, even though they don't have these things on their radios. Now we will have a better product they can buy. But I can totally understand why there are people concerned. They're like, oh, Lucas is just doing government. And they think all the money's in government. That's what's funny. At the old company, I think something like 92% of our sales was consumers. 8% was military and law enforcement. I foresee that being very similar with my new company. It's going to be like 90% consumers, maybe 80 with a little bit higher government, but that's 80% of the revenue being consumers, not the government, not the military, not SOCOM, not JSOC. I mean, there's not a lot of people in SOCOM compared to civilian sales. And so we're not just going to do government because that's dumb. And I think a lot of companies in the industry are starting to see that. I've told the story, but a couple of years at SHOT, and this was 2 years ago, so I'm sure it's different now. They said that their customer base completely flipped from 2/3 military, 1/3 civilian back in 2000. It was like 2015. Now it's 2/3 civilian, 1/3 military. And so now they're like, we're going to focus more on consumer sales. We'll still make stuff for the military. We'll make everything available to civilians we make for the military, but they now see the economic impact of the consumer market because it's developed so much. So we'll still do it. Obviously. I mean, it's good fun.
But I mean, that goes back to what you said earlier about being product focused and not really worrying about the money so much, just designing the cool stuff. Right.
Oh yeah. We're going to make products that we sell like 20 of, and that's fine. We'll lose money on those.
Right.
But as long as other products are making money and we can make this weird thing over here, I'm fine with that. Because it's playing the long game. It's looking at the big picture. Like you have your loss leaders, you have your lookers, you have your purple loot. And that's fine. And it's not a problem. And I think more companies should adopt that model instead of every product has to be 50% margin, no matter what. And we're only bringing it in if people buy. It's like, no, that's not how building.
Well, that's
like
how you
a
end up
really
like
cool
every other
brand
company
works.
out there. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're a generic brand at that point, basically. Well, let's talk about manufacturing, right? Because this is kind of a change where you're mostly right now, a lot of your products are nylon. I imagine because that's the easiest one to get spun up with other American companies. But I know that there's some complaints that you're not really making anything, quote unquote, right? You're designing it and then having somebody else make it for you. I know that you're supporting American manufacturing, which is of course space, but is there a plan to transition that at some point? Or are you going to mostly still rely on partners so that you can be a little bit more nimble in how you make, design, do all that sort of stuff?
So I think it's kind of funny how people are real quick to be like, oh, he's not making anything, so he sucks or whatever they're saying. Yeah, most gun companies don't, like many of them, don't make anything. They subcontract, they get it made, they assemble, they ship, or they get it and ship. They don't even make anything. So this, if you're going to hold this standard, it's going to apply to probably half the gun industry and half the defense industry, probably. There are huge companies that work with tons of these little machine shops. Like I've been learning a lot about the machining OEM world. There are these small little OEM machine shops of like 10 employees, and they like make bolts for like the F-16, and they get subcontracted for all these different programs. And Lockheed Martin isn't on some projects even necessarily making everything themselves in their own building. They're getting everyone else involved so they can finish this legit product, like this fighter jet that can, obliterate, entire countries potentially. And there's nothing like wrong or bad about that. Now, the problem would be if I came in here telling you all, we're making so much stuff in our own building, and then you all found out, oh, he's just like, he's not actually sewing this stuff himself. He's not making it. Yeah, bastard lied. That would be a problem. And believe it or not, there are a lot of companies that do that and make it sound like they make it themselves.
Well, a lot of companies hide the fact that they are not actually doing this.
We have been in factories recently in the clothing industry where I have seen clothing from certain very loud American-made companies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're making this for them," and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. They're not the ones. They're having you make it, but they always say they make it, and it's still American-made. Like they're not lying about it. but it's seeing
Companies have lied about that too, though.
Oh, I know. Yeah, believe it or not. So, yeah, we're being very upfront about it. Like if I want to go make, let's say a rifle laser. I want to make a rifle laser. Okay. Um, I'm not going to make it in-house myself. I don't have the expertise. I don't have electrical engineers. I don't have the folks. I'm going to go find probably 2 or 3 companies to source parts from, maybe assemble myself, maybe get someone else, because it would be potentially suicide for me to try to stand all that up and make a hard use product with little experience and then provide it to you all. Like that's actually probably stupid versus going to professional organizations who do manufacturing, who know what they're doing.
Mhm. Well, for that, you would probably need 6 million in startup costs to actually bring machines and engineers on and all the other fun stuff to make some of this stuff from scratch, right?
Well, so here's what's really fun. So manufacturing just got a whole lot easier. The SBA loan, SBA loans go up to 5 million, a small business loan. People should look into that. It's not a bad idea to do something if you have the drive to see it through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to do a few of them, like for other things. The manufacturing SBA loan just got raised to 10 million. So if you are an American-based, bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., you can now get up to 10 million, and that's up front. It's not like spread out over a long period of time. You can get all that up front and immediately go and buy CNC machines, pay for building rent for 5 years, hire a bunch of machinists. Like 10 mil, you could start to do some pretty serious manufacturing work. That 5 mil starts to be, a little tougher to do, if you're trying
to be careful with it, which sounds like an insane amount of money to some people out there. But yeah, that money goes very, very, very quickly.
So later on, I will share with people how much money I invested to launch this company. Well, and I guess the other one technically, but I have invested a significant amount of capital, and we have done many things to make that work. And in the future, I will explain that because it's an interesting story of commitment and whatnot. But yes, there are some ideas to do manufacturing. Specifically, we're running into issues. I'll give the vision, right? We are running into problems with finding vendors for things like tags. The tag that goes on our sling. Yeah, that was a nightmare. It's a tag. It says Made in America, Adaptiv Defense. It's a little woven thing. And we had issues getting that. And then I found out everyone's had issues with that. And I'm like, well, that's lame. We should just do it ourselves. Like we should get the machines. They're not that expensive. And we should offer that as a service to people and do it better than everyone. Because if they're sucking this hard with like bad customer service, they're not fulfilling, they're into the bargain, working with these people. I want to do it. Like I want to fix that for people. And so we're starting to make a list of like tags. Zippers would be a fun one, but that's hard. All the zippers have been moved overseas, except for the military YKK ones. And I'm starting to make a list of all these things. And it's possible that, a year or two from now, I go get that $10 million SBA and I start Botkin Enterprises manufacturing. And it's just to make parts, not finalized product. It's just, we need to make parts. And then I market using my platform. Hey, here's the deal, guys. Making stuff in America sucks. We're trying to make it easier. If you need zippers, tags, like hats, because hats is another one. We are doing that. We're white labeling. We're manufacturing. Come to us, and then we set that up. And like I've started seriously considering that because it is sucked going and looking for stuff. And I've known that for years. But now that I'm kind of a little more free to think about opportunities, we'll just say, now I'm starting to be like, oh, this is actually something I could maybe do something about. Take great risk upon myself to try to fix. And so I think we will do manufacturing, but we're going to work with people who are really good at it because that's how we make the best product. So,
well, and that frees you guys up right now to do the design work that you want to do too, right?
Exactly. My vision for Adaptiv is, at least for the first 2 years, is we only have about 10 employees. We've got like 5 product developers and people in a very small cell who can do prototype work. We've been talking about that this week. We have a few people doing customer service and fulfillment of orders. Very little admin. I despise admin for a wide variety of reasons. Like I don't even want to be considered admin. I want to be able to get in and do things.
Bad experiences.
We're not talking about that. But like 10 people, 12 people. But all the people are like doing the stuff to make product happen. And the admin is minimal. The team is small. We can go fast. And the way we're able to do that is outsourcing to, this factory over here, this factory over here, this factory over here. I think we're working with 4 well, if you're not counting apparel, I guess 4 or 5 people who are supplying us product at this point. And that's good for them because they can pay their bills, they can pay their employees, and they can cover their loans for their SBAs that they have. And that's good.
Jake in the chat begging for a job. No skills, but he's a chill guy. Thanks, Jake. That's a great resume right there. Great opener.
Yeah.
Great first impression. But something I do want to talk about is the more specialized stuff that you're doing right now. So you had a whole section in your video about the training division, and that's going to be kind of held up by Jesse, right? You mentioned things like CQB for active shooter response, which kind of goes into the targets as well, the shoot house courses, church security teams, almost like a consultation business. Is that an accurate way to describe that?
No. So it's all on the ground. I mean, so there are companies out there who do like site surveys, what they're called. A bunch of SEALs go to a church and they talk about force protection, protecting the structure, and they charge a boatload of money. And that's not necessarily bad. Like that can be good, especially if the church security team is like, they really don't know, they haven't really thought about it. They don't have someone experienced on the team. Our approach is much more hands-on. Like there's basically mandatory live fire for everyone because they have to be competent with their tools if they're expected to perform. And then, for the church security class, and we've had a ton of interest in churches. Now, I think a lot of them don't realize that like this training is quite expensive. The guys that we're providing are highly skilled and I want them paid well. Oh, by the way, I make no money on the training, just FYI. The way that whole section of the business works is the instructors get the money. We make nothing. In fact, I technically lose money, I think, on the insurance and handling customer service.
If you have any expenses at all, you're going to...
We're technically losing money on the training, but that's fine because we'll make it back in the long run on product. They keep all the money, all the instructors, which is an unheard of business practice for a company marketing training, by the way. Like usually the instructors are paid crap. The company takes their cut. We're not doing that. I'll make money if I go teach classes. I'll get to keep my portion of teaching. Like that's how but they run off and they do their thing. We just get them clients and we assist with different things. But they'll go to a church, they'll do flat range. They'll make sure everyone's safe, decent. Then they'll go to the church sanctuary structure building, whatever it is, do a site survey, talk through some things, and then do scenarios with simulations. The guys that I have really like live fire shoot houses based on their background and their training philosophy. They love getting people into a live fire shoot house because when you shoot in a building live fire, it is, if you've never done it, it is a eye opener for guys, officers, and everyone else. So they really like getting people into a live fire shoot house. However, there's not a lot of those around the country. So they have to make do with what they have. But every course has hands-on. It's not like a walk in, do a consulting thing. Like they're not huge fans of that. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like there's got to be some hands-on skills development. And that's the purpose of that training. And we've had we're getting slammed by churches wanting this training, which is great. I mean, there's not a lot of people who are offering it. I think some of them will be able to handle the costs of the course. I think others are going to be like, that's too much. And that's fine. There might be some other ways to fix that.
Well, let me ask you about how this actually works. So you have your instructors for whatever church or organization wants this type of training. You're like, all right, you guys are based, let's just say in, I don't know, middle of nowhere, like say Sioux Falls, right? A big city close to me, but there is no like live fire shoot house in the area. How does that, what does this actually look like? They contact you, set something up, pay the fees to get the guys out there. And if there is no shoot house, that's just part of the training that isn't there? Or
so like I said, the course will be structured slightly different. It will just be, do you have a place to live fire? Is there a range nearby? If the answer is no, well, there's a strong likelihood they're not going to take them as a client because we need the live fire component. Hey, we're going to go to the range. We're going to spend day 1 there. And then day 2 is at the church, which is very important for them to actually like do some scenarios in their building. It's just going to be done with UTMs. If we have a live fire shoot house, which is kind of only available to law enforcement, probably for the law enforcement courses, that's great. All the day 2, day 3 training will be done in the shoot house. But if it's a church, it's probably flat range day 1, church building day 2. And that's how the course is structured and how it's also quoted. So live fire shoot house is great, but Most churches don't have one of those. I don't think
Yeah.
the Vatican. I bet the Vatican has one. They're
Well,
probably the only
the Vatican has its own military
city.
police force that,
Its
yeah.
own
So
city.
yes, they do have their own training grounds and whatnot.
They're probably the only church with a shoot house. So at this point, none of the church courses are going to have shoot houses.
You know, Church of Scientology, there might be a couple weird ones out there that you might be surprised that have their own, or, you know, do compounds, do cults count as churches? Yeah.
Let's move on.
Kind of talking. Sorry, I just got completely distracted thinking about Mormon shoot houses. All right, so you talked about this before. Ranges, big problem for people that actually go out there, do the thing with the thing. Said that there's not a lot of civilian access to shoot houses. Are we getting an adaptive defense facility at some point in the future? Because imagine if you had your own shoot house facility that you can combo with your training, right? So you can say, like, you guys come out here, we provide the training at our own facility. So if you don't have one, you can come to us, or vice versa. And you can, you know, not necessarily open to the public, but open to people who pay you to come do it, right?
So I think that's a year. It depends on a few things. It depends on some funding mechanisms, because so a live fire shoot house, for those of you who don't know, is about $1 million. I think Strongholds was about 900K. So, and people are going to hear that and be like, I can make one cheaper. It's like, well, not if you're insuring it and you're making it to spec so that actual people can come and use it. Like putting up some car tires, that's not enough. Like no one serious is going to trust that, because people have died in shoot houses, bullets passing through walls. That's happened. I believe that's happened at Fort Bragg. That's happened at different places. Like it has to be ultra, ultra, ultra safe. Like the second you're shooting in a structure, the insurance gets crazy. The structure has to have good integrity. And they're still dangerous, right? Like we'll publish some videos from when we went down, like you're standing on the catwalk, he's coming in, shooting right below your legs. It's just the nature of the business. Like some people freak out because you're downrange. It's like, well, yeah, but also everyone here is competent and there's an expectation, but things can happen. Like that's why we wear armor in the house. We have our iPro, obviously, helmets, you know, depending on where you are. So I would love to have that. I would love to have the most awesomest training facility. In fact, the building that we were looking at renting, we may still rent, is a 3-story inside. It's like very, very tall for inventory. And the second I walked in, I was like, we could put a 2-story house in here and have like a fake suburban house for UTM.
Oh, yeah.
And then I started thinking about like the pricing for that and how much it would cost. And then thinking about how cool it would look in the background. And so like, I want a facility in the future, but that's, you know, give or take $5 to $8 million to build, set up. I mean, obviously there's financing options and whatnot. It's a lot. It's quite a lot. I'm confident we could maintain the facility and keep a flow of traffic that runs that part of the business. But again, I can't do everything all at once. That would be stupid. Steve Jobs I think it was Steve Jobs has a good talk about that. Oh no, Jeff Bezos. He has a great interview about that. So you have to pick, and I would say that's like a year 5 development. Year 4, year 5 would be cool. But as far as the range thing, different part of what you're talking about is I would love to be able to set up ranges around the country, which is cheaper because they don't have shoot houses. There's like freedom ranges is what the concept, the working title, where there's memberships, the membership ranges, you book them like old Netflix. You can book one slot at a time. You fill the range, you go, you have a bay, you can do whatever you want. People freak out because they say there's no way people will insure that. Well, there's ranges like this already. Like, yes, it's doable.
To 3. I'm in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, and I have 3 ranges that I go to that allow people to do basically whatever they want. They have bays set up, and it's private membership, whatever it is. So, I mean, in South Dakota, we have 3 of them within an hour of me, right? In the middle of nowhere.
It's around $2 to $3 million to build one. So with the right business structure, you could start dropping them around the country and have it all attached to a website that has a user login. And so if you travel to another state, you could still use this range, even though your home range is here. Like,
what's that? Like
that would be cool.
What's that really cheap gym, Planet Fitness of the gun world?
Yeah.
You know, where you can go to any Planet Fitness on any vacation or whatnot.
That's where the gun industry needs to go. That's what needs to happen next. And the example I'm going to give is Magic the Gathering. So I've played Magic the Gathering a little bit. I'm not a nerd, not a geek. All right. I mean, I am, But when I started getting into Magic the Gathering, I found out that, years back, they created a way on their website for free for you to play Magic with someone else. And they have all the technology for like you webcam to the table to show your cards. And then you can webcam your friend and you play virtually with someone.
Mhm.
And it's all free. They dumped a ridiculous amount of money into that system. Probably,
Oh yeah.
maybe 7 figures, but and the servers that they have to maintain
Well,
for
yeah,
that.
streaming is not cheap, and setting up all the infrastructure to get that to actually work, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, but they did that to facilitate people using their product. And when I saw that a couple years ago, I was like, oh, this is the answer. People we need more ranges, we need more places for people to use their product they buy and they have. Why don't more gun companies invest in that, or people in general? And so that's the future, figuring out some because and here's why this can be the future. Silencer Shop, and because I just used them recently, they cracked the code for suppressors, right? Making it very easy to get papered and do the whole thing. And they worked with the ATF. They worked with the government to get that figured out. So if someone can do the same thing with ranges, make it really easy to see your state's laws, regulations, and then plant ranges, that's the next boundary that needs to be broken as in the gun industry, in my opinion, is making the range thing easier to do for other people. And maybe that's something we do. Maybe that's just something I talk a lot about and promote, and then
Get
other
somebody
people
else to do it for you
yeah.
instead. Yeah.
Yeah, well, or if one of you hears this and you're a philanthropist and you've got a bunch of money, yeah, someone needs to figure out a way to make the legal side easier. And maybe that's how I use my law firm in the future. We've actually looked into some things like that, where it's like, hey, can you guys figure out if this is an option for me, and then tell me what we have to do. As soon as someone does Range Central or what's it, Silencer Shop,
Well, Silencer
Range
Central
Shop
is actually just down the road for me. Silencer Shop, though, that's the one that has the kiosk.
Yeah, if someone does Range Central and they figure out how to do all the legislation and the rules and the codes, and they go and negotiate with states and counties, that would be great. That'd be amazing. And that maybe it could be a 501c3, maybe. So I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. I can't do.
If the Somalis can scam $8 billion from the government in Minnesota, I think we can figure out how to make 501c3.
You would think, yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about last thing on this before we get to the audience questions, which may or may not be pertinent to the discussion. Let's talk about the clothing company.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So we got Lucas Lifestyle, right? That's the name, Lucas Lifestyle. LL.
People have been saying that my companies have always just been Lucas Botkin merch companies, and there's definitely some truth to. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that. And because of that, they think all the pants will be skinny. They're not. All right. We have a fit model who's not me. He's a jacked dude. I have if he changes his dimensions upwards of half an inch, we can fire him. He has to maintain his body. This guy, he has to maintain his body proportions inside of half an inch. That's the acceptable tolerance. And that's his job. His job is to run around and fit model for, I've seen the list of his companies. I can't say who they are, but big names you all know, including some defense companies, actually. Very interesting. I found that out on my last trip. So he's the fit model, average guy. Although then people say well, he's not fat enough. And I'm like, well, lose weight.
We need an American size. All right.
Yeah. Lose weight. What can I say? So, yeah. So the clothing company is, obviously it's in process. It's going to happen. And, it's, man, I don't know what to say. It's gonna be badass.
Also,
it's gonna be cool.
What's the first product or set of products that you're working on bringing to market? So are you trying to do a complete set? So we're talking pants, shirts, coats. Are we doing that sort of stuff? Are we coming out with is there gonna be one signature product?
I'll tell it all. So the caveat I'm gonna give is I'm a stickler for getting things right, to the point of frustrating my staff at times, because I'm like, this isn't good enough. We're not doing it. And that could be tough for people sometimes. We had some of that conversation about some stuff today. If the clothing isn't exactly what I want to launch first, we're going to nuke some styles and start over. We've already talked about that. We've definitely changed some things, but yeah, we have 3 shirts. So a short sleeve t-shirt style shirt, and I'll spill the beans a little bit of what the original intent with the shirt was. You know those little holes you get when you carry a gun?
Yeah.
On every shirt, right? I wanted to fix that because I've got a lot of shirts with holes. So my theory was, hey, let's do a stretchy back because you have to do stuff, and stretchy sleeves because you do stuff, and then we'll raglan cut it. All of our clothes are raglan cut, which is a little more expensive to do, but yeah, ending a seam in your armpit is for losers. So we're gonna raglan cut everything, which is great, including button shirts when we do them. And we had a thicker material in the front. I think it was an American-made material, and then we had a Taiwanese material, the stretchy on the sides and the back. And it was pretty cool, but the balance, like I didn't realize balance was something you have to deal with. Like
Yeah,
there's a
if
lot
it's
of
really
stuff.
light in the back and it's pulling forward
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. Yeah.
So we were changing the material on the back to be like a heavier GSM stretch material to compensate for the front. And I think what we had on the last run was decent. Like it could have worked. But then we went to an office for a company in Japan who makes a lot of Arc'teryx's material. And we were like, okay, you guys have the sickness. Like you guys have the cool stuff. We're just going to use your material because it does all the things and it's comfortable. It's a little more pricey, but this is the bee's knees. I mean, if it's good enough for Arc'teryx and they make some good stuff, like it's going to be great for us. So some of the designs are getting kind of rehashed a little bit, but we've got some short sleeve shirts. We have a hoodie that's kind of interesting. I think I showed a photo of that at one point. A reversible jacket. So 2 colorways, 1 jacket. There will be a multicam color, and then you can flip it to gray or black for when you go into town. There's 3 different pairs of pants. There's jeans. So yeah, this is the hoodie in multicam. This is sort of we're still figuring out the materials because berry compliance and all that crap.
Right.
Those are our tech pants, I guess you could say, with a reinforced front. The designs changed some since, and we did 2-tone. What's funny is I posted that photo, and I had a bunch of people in the military message me and be like, when can we have that? And I was like, hold on, it's black accents. Don't you care about that? And they were like,
looks
nah,
cool though. Okay.
Yeah. They were like, nah, we need better pants. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like, all right.
Hmm.
So the strategy with the clothing company is it's a mainstream company that's non-gun, non-tactical, because you don't have to make everything tactical. We also changed the angle on the back pockets. I know some people complained, even though a lot of pockets have some angled in the back pockets, they just don't realize it. So the mainstream clothing company is able to market mainstream. We're able to market on more standard platforms. We're able to use some different people to market that, some Red Bull style marketing possibly. But then we're going to use the same design team, factories, and knowledge that we have to move some multicam and more tactical styles over to Adaptiv. So we're duplicating work, or we're not duplicating.
You're bifurcating. You're separating some
yes,
of it out.
Yes.
Right?
I didn't even know the word. Thank you. We're getting more ROI out of the designs because we make a multicam version or a Ranger Green version, and we move it over. We put an Adaptiv tag on it. We give it a name, and we're good. So, and I think that is going to be a very successful strategy in doing that. I mean, there's a lot of companies getting into clothing. Spiritus, they're starting to get into it. They hired a guy for that.
Yeah, can somebody please beat 511 as the only company that makes like cool clothes, I guess. Please.
I was gonna say some of their. So I've bought a lot of clothes from different companies. That's kind of like I kind of buy stuff every week. 511 has some nice stuff. Like in the last few years, like they've got some slim fit stuff. They have some actually. It's not just a box for like a Walmart person. Like they have some actually tapered stuff for
a person of
people.
size. Okay, POS for short.
POS. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, person of size. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I'll remember that next time I go to New York. So, that's city.
Yeah, I don't envy that. Every time you post from New York, I'm like, why is it so dirty there? Like that's
no. Oh, people are calling me a liberal for working there. They're like, Lucas is a liberal. He's working in New York, and it's kind of fascinating. So, anyway,
did you do any tunnel exploration while you were down
looked.
there?
Second trip. There were a few times where you'll be walking on the street and all of a sudden like the metro's there, and I'm like, oh, the tunnels, but it's the metro. Yeah. So it's the wrong one. So
multiple levels to this joke, but yeah, there's a whole underground system down there.
So we talked about going to Ground Zero for that, and we haven't yet. So maybe we'll report. We'll take a photo outside that sanctuary synagogue.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
maybe
This
we'll go visit, take a photo.
thing
It's at
thing.
the other end of town, I think. So get a photo
Mm.
there. Ask some
Okay, so
questions.
just to kind of bring it back to the clothing aspect of it, so we're
Oh,
gonna have like
okay.
the
All right.
the lifestyle stuff, like the normal everyday clothes,
Yep.
is going to be the clothing company, and then the more tactical stuff we're not shoveling it, but pushing that over to Adaptiv,
Yep.
right? So that's going to be under the same. So I can get my pants, my cool sweatshirt, my chest rig. I can get everything right at Adaptiv Defense, all the cool guy stuff.
Fully kitted. I will say there are aspects to the tactical lifestyle I am implementing into the everyday clothing. So like the coin pocket that's ridiculous. We're making long so it can fit,
The coin pocket.
multi-tool. You know what I'm talking about in jeans? The little pocket, or
Yeah, I hate
it's
it.
not a
I put a
condom
pocket.
pocket.
I put a pocket knife in there. That's what I do with that.
How do you fit one in there?
Oh no, you're talking about the tiny short ones. The ones that I have
Yeah.
are long. They're like 3 inches long on my pants. So I just put a pocket knife in
Okay,
there.
listen, we don't need to do gestures.
This-
Calm down. What the heck? Okay, so that pocket on most normal pants is sized for pennies and nickels and lint and your dime bags
Things you can
and your
throw
whatever.
at Dave Portnoy, okay? Get
Yes,
arrested
yes.
for that.
That's what's in the coin pocket. Coin pocket's dumb. So we're making it long, 3.5, 4 inches, whatever it is, to fit
that's huge.
magazines, flashlight. It's huge. Yeah. So we are taking certain elements of the tactical lifestyle, the gray man lifestyle, and we are implementing into everyday clothing. But the funny thing is, we're not gonna even say that on the website. I don't think we're just gonna be like the pockets a little bit longer to fit things, and maybe show like a flashlight or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a magazine, but everyone will be like, I know what you did there. I know what you did.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where you can appeal to normie, and a normie's not even going to know that, oh, this is a Lucas Botkin pair of pants, right? This is a tactical pair of pants. It just kind of fits in, right?
Well, I still haven't decided. Like, we're not going to keep it a secret that it's one of my companies, and so people could. Like, there are absolutely
somebody not in the know, right? If somebody saw
right.
you wearing this pair of pants, they're not like, there's a tactard gray man.
No, we're not. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's dumb.
All right.
So that's what's going on with that.
Perfect. Excellent. Looking for, what do we tentative launch date, product release?
So it depends how picky I'm going to be, because obviously there's a lot. People expect me. I mean, it was even apparent with the Adaptiv launch. Some people, not everyone, but some people expect like, oh, it's going to be a company that's exactly the same in size and scope as his other company. And it's like, no, that had 10 years and lots of employees and things. You don't just start that on day one. That's, I would almost say, is impossible. Rome isn't built in a day. So the clothing company, I want it to be right, as right as we can be, but I also don't want to be too, the phrase is be too precious, not Taryn Butler precious, but like too precious about the idea. At some point you have to launch, you have to send it, even if you're not completely happy with everything, so that you can begin the process of iterating and perfecting. So there's probably going to be a few clothing styles where I'm like, I wish we could have spent a little more time on them, but we need to get some stuff out there, and we will fix them and we will make new ones. So the tentative launch right now is like Q2 of next year. So it could be May, could be June. It depends on a lot of things. It's very capital intensive. The minimums on the clothing are 500 per item
Per SKU, yeah.
And we have to order like 4,000 to 5,000 items, and they're made in America, so they're not cheap. And the material cost and the labor cost is separate, but so I jam it together. What's nice though is we're not doing dealers, so I can cut a bunch of crap off the top that we don't have to charge, because the clothing market charges astronomical amounts of markup, like you wouldn't believe. There's a shoe company in our industry that give dealers 50 points, and nobody gets 50 points in the gun industry, but the shoe company's like, oh yeah, you get 50% margin. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, you guys are making some bank on your shoes.
Yeah, 100%.
So the clothing industry, there's some good money in there. It is tricky to get into. It's hard to do, but we're cutting some of that margin off the top to make Made in America a little bit more affordable. But what I will say is, we're not making affordable clothes. That is not
This is not
And,
Walmart brand. This is going to
We're,
be
we
like
will
nice
never
stuff.
compete. We will never compete with American Eagle. We will never compete with Walmart. We'll never compete with Target, and none of the other companies that are doing American made, like Beyond Primitive or whoever else, or Spirits even. None of them are doing that. That's not the clientele. If you want $20 jeans, go buy $20 jeans. They're fine. Like, they aren't going to fit probably super amazing, but they're pants, and they do pant things, and then you're fine. So we're not that. Just FYI. But we're also not trying to be like Gucci and charge like $800
$600. Yeah.
a thing made in China. Like, no, we're not doing that.
You could put like Supreme on it and you could charge $1,000. You could, that's where drop culture really is at. If you want to do pre-orders and drop culture,
All right.
these
So
products.
all right. So question for the audience. I can't see the chat, and that's fine. Probably. No, you have intellectuals. They would have been great.
Yeah, very intellectual. I assure you. We'll get to
great.
that in just a second.
Is drop culture dead? You can answer too if you want.
I mean, I used to, so funny, you might not know this. I used to be partnered with a guy who was really into sneakers, really, really into sneakers. And we had a business venture of literally getting the drops and then reselling them. That was a business that we used to do. I have never been into it. I don't.
If you're gonna hustle, you're gonna hustle.
Stuff. Yeah, but it was literally just a business venture for me. He was into it. It was his thing. I was like, all right, you just tell me what to do. I have some money. We'll do this.
So you were in it for the money.
Right. I don't care about this stuff at all. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's not my thing.
Oh, there we go.
Not my thing.
DEFCONs? Hands? What were we talking about? Air Jordans?
Shoes. Yeah, it was shoes. Yeah.
No, I know. DEFCON Vans are shoes.
Well, right. But see, you're saying that. This is how out of the loop I am. I wear one type of shoe. I wear Adidas Boosts. That's all that I wear. That's what since I ran marathons when I was again 16, 17, 18, I have never switched shoes. That's all I wear. That's all I wear. So when you say these other shoes, I have no idea what you're even referencing. So like you could tell me, oh, this is a Jordan 13, and I'd be like, I have no idea. No idea. None. Right. That's
well,
how out of it was.
When we make shoes, I'll send you a pair. But that's later.
All right,
but I love shoes. I've got more shoes in my closet than most people will own in a lifetime. I don't wear most of them. I get them to look at, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I put away. So we'll use those in the future. Yeah. So,
all right, last question, and this is the hardest question, so I saved it for last. All right. So you talked about in the video relentless ambition, how people don't feel like they're allowed to be ambitious, to go dream big, to do big things, to do hard things, so to speak. So I want to kind of ask you this question. What is your future plan? Not just in the here and now, but let's say your 1 year plan. Where is Lucas Botkin? Where is Adaptiv Defense and all your companies in 1 year, 10 years, and 100 years?
I would say the companies are a tool. They, just like the first company was a tool, right? Like, I got some notoriety. I got my name out there. I pushed some ideas, which I think some of them have taken. Like, people definitely, are taking those and evolving them and developing them further. I think it's safe to say there are some trends that I created that were good and some that were bad. But my goal is that all the businesses that I start moving forward maintain that concept, where they are all tools for growing influence and pushing good, strong American ideals, and specifically ethical ideals, because we live in an extremely fallen world. I mean, always has been, but the internet has, I think, brought some things to the surface some things that we didn't have, that weren't problems before. I mean, obviously we had Sodom and Gomorrah, which was horrible. So like in history before the internet, we had some very horrible times, but the internet has posed some very unique challenges on the current generation growing up with the internet, like more than we had when we grew up. And the standard of ethics and moral standards, and you could say religious standards too, even, it needs to be improved. And so my hope and desire is that through developing these companies and building influence through these companies, I'm able to, and my team is able to influence a higher standard of ethics and business practices. And my ultimate goal, or 10-year goal, let's say, is I own a domain for a concept that's very important to me. And I want to turn that concept into a conference for business owners that is specifically tied to ethics. And this is kind of where people, there's the whole capitalist conversation of you have capitalists who use capitalism for good, you have capitalists who use capitalism for bad. Just like anything, you can take it either way. And capitalism, which I'm a huge fan of, can be used for good. You can use it to take care of your employees. You can use it to take care of other companies, supporting other factories. You can use it for even steering political agendas in a positive way. I think some people say like corpos shouldn't be involved in politics at all. I disagree. I actually think corpos who are responsible for the workforce of America should be involved in politics to some extent, helping steer things positively.
Some would say Henry Ford was a positive example of that sort of thing.
Exactly. So my goal is to bring more of that to light, and some of those concepts to light, the ethics side of things, in preserving the capitalism we have today that does make this country great, but make it a good form of capitalism that is tied to moral values. And that sounds like a lofty goal. I know some people are like, Lucas, you're not the guy for that. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not the guy for that. Maybe I'm just the like a super duper junior Nick Fuentes of sorts, who's going to say a bunch of stuff and then maybe other people parrot it. But that's what's important to me. And it was never important to me until we started running into some of these issues with my first company. And then I went through some of my stuff, and I see just how necessary it is for business owners who are holding up a lot of society, jobs and livelihoods, being men and women included, being people of strong moral character. And so that is my main objective. And the gun industry company is a tool and a vehicle for that. The clothing company, I actually think, is probably a bigger tool for that in some ways, because it has more potential to grow to $100 million international brand than like Adaptiv is going to be like a $10 million company. Like in the next 5-10 years, 10 mil, maybe 20. It's not going to be this gargantuan giant thing. And that's fine. It's going to solve needs that people have. It's going to support jobs. It's going to support factories. I'm happy with that. The other company, though, could be a $100 million brand. And I want it to be a $100 million brand, because with that, then we have influence to steer manufacturing in the US. We have influence to go be in politics, influence to show up on Joe Rogan's show and talk about all these different things. And so that is my goal long-term, is to really encourage a higher standard of moral value and moral ethics, and in business specifically, because it trickles down to everyone. And I hear horror stories. Like I saw another one today. Someone handed me their phone with someone who just left a company out of values. They're like, they had some sort of ownership change and they were like, I got to get out because it's horrible now. That happens all the time. And that's horrible. Like, that should not be the case. So I would love to be a part of fixing some of that. It's not going to be all of it, but that is my 10-year goal. And you could even say 100-year goal. Like, if I could be known as the guy who started saying, hey, capitalism's great and you can be a good capitalist. And here's some things I learned business ethics wise in taking care of customers and doing the right thing and saying no to these things and losing millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, but to stand on principle and do the right thing, that would make me very fulfilled and very happy. So that's my mission, my goal. And these companies are tools to get us there. And I don't want it to just be me. Like, I want all the people involved in what we're doing with Botkin Enterprises to all be people who can champion that idea. And we're learning a lot of interesting stuff right now about American manufacturing that I did not know. Like with the previous company, I wasn't as involved in some of those things. I was doing a lot of media and marketing and gun industry stuff. But now that I'm working in another industry and we're also doing some gun industry stuff that's a little bit different, I'm learning all kinds of more problems, more issues with our country that need to be addressed and fought for soon. And it needs to be soon, because we've got a lot of young people coming up in the workforce. who need livelihoods, and they all want to, well, I don't say all, but I don't want to generalize too much. They want to be content creators. They want to go on TikTok. They want to be marketing managers.
Well, you're
and
not.
guess what?
Yeah, that's the most. If you look at them, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's content creator. It's whatever it might be.
Yep.
That is the number one. Whereas it used to be like astronaut, pilot. You know, it used to be more real jobs, and now since we're so inundated with this social media, everything that's what people think that all of life is, right?
And that's why the internet has caused some unique problems in society that we've never had before. I talked about this on a video with Joel Park recently. We've never had this in the history of the world, where people could so easily be accessible to negativity and criticism and brain rot, right? Like even the Library of Alexandria did not provide the level of brain rot we have today. I'm sure there was some real smut in that library, like some real nasty stuff, probably like how to create trannies back then, but it wasn't accessible to the entire world. You had to like travel there, be a scholar, probably know someone to get in, and then finally it burned down. But the internet is everywhere. You can put your filth, it can spread far and wide, be safe forever, cached. Like we've never had that in the history of the world before, and it's ruining young people right now, and older people too. They're susceptible. And I'm starting to like pay attention to that a little bit more. There's studies coming out. Australia just banned social media use for anyone under 16, which sounds, well, yeah, it sounds
right.
It sounds horrible, but it's like, you know, I kind of get it. Now, our kids still going to get access to it. Now, does it make it more interesting to get into? Probably. It's like drugs, but like there's something going on, and I think there's a few ways of combating that. But I think making good jobs for people to work in, jobs that people want to do, like manufacturing jobs, good work environments. You know, we have free reign for all of our employees. You know, like that's what we do. So great work environment. They can have 2 a day. You know, that's like $7, I think.
Bro,
you know?
That's crazy. Sign me up.
Yeah, dude, free reign at all times. That was day one. We're gonna have free reign for everyone. So that's what I want to do. I know it's a little long-winded, and I've still been trying to figure out how to explain, because it is a very lofty ambition. Mm-hmm. And some people may say like, oh, Lucas is departing from the Second Amendment. He's so focused on like this America as a whole with business and jobs. And it's like, well, no, Second Amendment is still very important, but if we don't have good jobs and good capitalism, the gun stuff's going to get crushed, because you're not going to be able to afford gun stuff. You're going to sell your stuff off. You're going to hate your day job. You're not going to be in a good mental space to go and train on Saturday because you had a slog fest at work, just a sucky, toxic environment. Like imagine if all of your jobs, probably half of you in chat, if you have jobs, if half of you in chat probably hate your job. And when you go home or the weekend shows up, you're like, I don't want to go train. I don't want to dry fire because my energy just got destroyed at this workplace working with these horrible people. So now imagine a society where our jobs are better, like they're way more healthy. People have more time to spend doing productive things outside of work, because that's how it should be. And right now, the work environment in the US and a lot of places just sucks.
Yeah,
it just does. And I'm learning more about it every day. There's a great book, Bullshit Jobs. I can't remember the author's name. Been reading that.
You'll be able to find the title by the title. No, you're fine.
You can find it. He wrote an article back in a while back, and it blew up because he talked about the whole, hey, all these HR, like admin, like they don't make anything. They don't construct anything. Something wrong is going, you know, something bad is happening to society. And he signaled that. I think that book's like 8 years old, 9 years old. Been kind of reading that a little bit. Interesting book. David Graeber, I think that's his name. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. This guy says
great book talking about this. You met him. Yeah. Great book. That's sort of like, hey, there's a problem. There's all these fake jobs. They don't actually contribute. People don't feel like they're of any value. Kind of like that article about that Wall Street guy who during the shutdown went and ran a hot dog stand and was like, this is actually based. I've had more fun doing this than I've ever had. Right. And it's like, I don't blame you. You're actually providing a service that's helpful, and you can see people be happy like immediately instead of staring at screens all day, selling fake money,
doing something that's a little bit more meaningful. Well, yeah, I didn't expect a short answer for that, because the reason why I ask on such a long time scale is that we have the brain rot of being so moment by moment, so week to week focused, that the people who, let's say, don't have our best interests at heart work in long time scales, decades, centuries, millennia. So I think it is beyond time for us to think about how we influence people after we're gone, right? How do we set up success for our future generations? As I have children, there's things that I want to help them accomplish long after I'm gone. Was it C.S. Lewis who said, we're the people who plant trees in which we'll never see the shade, or something like that? But yeah, it's about preparing for the future generations and doing things now that help people going forward. So that's why I ask that question, and on such a long time scale. So yeah,
I like it. Well, and I think that's one of the evolutions that I want to make with Adaptiv and some of our messaging is the gun stuff and the preparedness stuff super important. Everyone should have some level of understanding, and I think for large part a lot of the industry now has that. But while some people were so focused on that during 2019, 2020, 21, bad economy crept up on them, like, you know, certain poor planning crept up on them, and there's a lot of people that are just not in a good position from a preparedness standpoint, and it's not a defense combat standpoint. It's purely economic. And the economic one is way more important, because if you don't have the economy to support arms and armor and training, well, you're going to be a conscript or a peasant. And so the economic preparedness is, I would argue, way more important. It has to come first in order to support the other stuff. And I think a lot of people had it backwards, and and I understand the gun stuff's fun. It's fun to go to the range. It's fun to hang out with the homies. It's fun to run and shoot matches all the time.
Realistically,
and spend a lot of
it's
money
fun
doing
to
it.
Flex on Instagram, right?
That's the real flex. It's fun to do all that, but then you do that for years, and then at the end you're like, "Ooh, I'm like in incredible debt. Nobody wants to buy my stuff because there's so much stuff now on the market. Like, there's tons of like used gear for sale right now, and they're just not in a good economic spot. So that's where with Adaptiv, like, I want to be much more intentional with some of the messaging, some of the materials we put out there at leveling people up to think about preparedness holistically, and not just, hey, buy our new chest rig that came out that holds 4 Molotov cocktails. Like, that's
very useful at my mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that's wrong, but I don't think that is setting people up for maximum preparedness success. And so that's what I want to do with Adaptiv. And people, I think, will see that over time. Like, obviously at launch, we had the one video of me, the slew of products, and everyone's judging us off of that, and that's fine. But I think at year 2, we're going to be pretty well situated for people to look at it and be like, yeah, we know who Adaptiv is. We know what they're about. We know what Lucas is about now. He's kind of about some new stuff, some different stuff. And I think that's going to be fun. So
I was going to ask this earlier, but it kind of comes up now. How is it doing business in the Trump slump 2.0?
So, fun fact. There is a Trump slump, kind of. I talked to a big distributor, one of the big ones. There's a couple, as you probably know. And I asked them that. I said, how are sales for you, this big $1 billion company, or 800 million, whatever it is. They're up there. It's very, very much. And he said, well, we're down 5%, but we're actually up 15% compared to last quarter, last year. So not really a Trump slump, but sort of. So, and that's who you want to talk to, the distributors, to get info. Like, if you go to a brand and they say we're down, it could just mean they suck. It could just mean they're not relevant anymore. It could mean any number of things. So, like, I like going to the distributors and asking them directly, which not everyone has the opportunity to do. So that's why I'm sharing this information with you. So 5% is not bad. Like, I think every company out there should be prepared to take on 10% of water, 5%, because markets fluctuate. Interests change, trends change. Does social media prioritize these kinds of products over these this year or this election? And so when I hear 5% down, I'm like, that's negligible. If we were talking 20%, 30%, that's when it's tougher. But I think a lot of companies taking on more than, say, 5% water, it's due to poor operational planning. It's due to not having stock. It's maybe having too much stock, not being relevant, not having a good strategy. Like, my philosophy, and maybe it's a little aggressive, is when the market's down, that means there's opportunity. Because if you work harder than these other companies who are getting slaughtered by 5 to 10%, there's some market you can take. That's my position. That's my philosophy. And we've done it.
Pardon the analogy, but there are some dinosaurs in the industry that haven't really been able to adapt. I'm using all the catchphrases here. Haven't been able to adapt, and that's why there's there's at least 3, and not even referencing that. I'm just using dinosaur as a euphemism here.
I know.
You know, we've seen like Anderson, Delton, and a few other like old brands that haven't done anything cool, that aren't relevant.
But Ruger, perfect example. They went and bought Anderson, I think.
They bought Anderson, yes.
So they made a power move, and the Ruger pistol, which I don't know how that happened, or not the Magpul pistol. I don't know how that happened.
The RXM, yeah.
Yeah. But one of those two companies had to have been like, hey, the market's kind of not great. Let's make something new. It's a Glock, but like, let's bring something new to our portfolio that's interesting and work together on a collab. And honestly, that pistol is kind of sick. Like, I want the full size, and I'm not buying guns right now. Like, not really. I'm not buying a bunch of pistols this time around, but a full size RXM, I kind of want one. Like, it's actually kind of cool. And so that's an example of, they started working on that years ago, and the economy has been great for like 4 or 5 years, however long, but they saw the writing on the wall. They wanted to make a move. Then Ruger went and bought Anderson. Like, they weren't sitting around going, "Oh, Trump slump," like, "Oh, 10% down." Like, well, no, they're still working and doing stuff.
Maybe the Trump slump is more pronounced in the gun industry simply because people were coming off the insane highs of 2020, 2021. Yes. And so they thought, because people get to this point where they're like, oh, well, we made more money this year than last year, so surely next year. Yeah, that's I see the trajectory, so it's going to continue on forever, right? It's totally not a wave. Yeah,
it's not a 51 angle, it's like a 45.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, because I'll say, well, we know the 51% is bad for the new, but well,
What, you didn't see the price of the sling? Okay,
$51.99, yeah.
No, it's 49. Oh my gosh.
No, it's not. Right. It's 51, isn't it?
It's 51.49, but nobody noticed.
Oh, 51.49. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I'm probably going to change it to 52 anyway. I'll raise the price.
Yeah, raise it up. I'm the bad guy. Yeah, they don't deserve it. That was the early entry price. Now it's $60. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. You just keep raising the price until you no longer run out of stock. That's what you do.
Oh, is that the strategy? Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, you could do that, right? Because you can do the next run is 60. If you still sell out at 65, and you just keep going up and up and up, and just be honest, be like, hey, by the way, like, and that,
I'll let the team know tomorrow.
That's actually kind of dirty, because then you're like, you have to buy it now because the next run's going to go up. So you're still incentivizing them to buy at this price, because this is the lowest price.
No. What we do is we say we're having a sale, but we raise the price early, do the sale, and it's
it is Black Friday, Christmas season. So I mean, yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Stop at 60. Yeah, the many 6-7s in chat. Speaking of chat, Lucas, thank you very much for coming on, answering all the silly questions. 2+ hours. There are a lot of chats that I'm gonna go through. Listen, but if you have to go, do not feel bad.
This is work for me. I was probably gonna play some Arc Raiders, kill some people, betray some people, maybe Broken Arrow, blow up some Russians. So yeah, I'm good, dude.
Okay, perfect. Well, here we go then. Lightspore for 2 says, Sonny, come back, please. I want to talk to Tubby. That's in reference to Sonny Pazikas. Do you know Sonny Pazikas at all?
Of course, great friends. No, I have no idea.
No, okay, so he he's the guy who did the Blooming Death. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of him spinning around with an AK and a pistol in one hand, shooting and spinning.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Russian
so we had him on the channel on Monday to talk about some of his training techniques, and that was very fun. And they were making fun of one of his overweight co-hosts. So that's what that was in reference to.
You're very courageous.
It was wild. 3.5 hours long, but it was very entertaining. Subarctic Psycho for 5 says belated and queer. We're past the 2-hour mark, so you can say faggot now. Chud for 2 says, Richard Gassy, you owe me from Monday's absence. Richard's also not here tonight. I gave him the night off. He didn't know that, but I told him like 30 minutes before the stream. My bad. Bryce Kimball says, all right, this is certified gay, cringe, and gay. Yes, many such cases. We haven't even started the stream yet. Amorite Boy for 2 says, late and gayer than T97 simps. Don't be a simp. Subarctic Psycho for 2 says, 4 minutes. Congrats, John. You're almost white. Yes, many such questions about my ethnicity. Kyle Flores for 5 says, restock the carbine sling. Lucas?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Kyle, I know you. I recognize your name, actually, believe it or not. There's a restock on Friday. Like I said, it depends on what color you waitlisted, because like we have a lot of multicam, but some of the other colors you don't have.
Oh, sure. I'm just on the generic wait list. I didn't know you had to do it for each color.
Unfortunately, yes, you do.
Okay,
I mean,
I didn't know that.
You can waitlist. You can waitlist all of them if you want, and just
You said
but
Friday,
again,
Friday morning, Saturday morning.
It's probably gonna be Friday after work, after payday.
Okay, so
now that's not because of
PM?
payday. It's not because of payday, because we're getting more on Friday. We have to QC before we restock, so we're gonna be right up to the minute.
Well, this is drop culture now. You're saying Friday 6 p.m. be there before they sell out. All right, fine.
I'm not
Friday,
doing that. We're
6
using the wait
p.m.
list.
You heard
We're using
that.
the wait
You heard
list.
it
We're using the
here.
wait list. We're using the wait list.
New drop Friday.
Get on the wait list. All of them. All four colors. Only 4. Yeah.
Oh, all 4 colors are coming back.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh no, okay, I didn't know that. All right, so wait, what's the most popular color? What's the most? Which one has the most multicam? Okay, fine.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, multicam vibes for the new company.
Here we go. Gen 6 Glock. Everyday American says, Lucas, why is the Gen 6 Glock the best Glock, and will you finally switch over to the future?
If it doesn't take a switch, I don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, the hood scholars with Dremels can make almost anything happen, so where there's a will, there's a way.
I could probably go, that's what I should do next time I'm in New York. Go to a certain part of town, be like, I'm here for questions. My hands are, I'm here to ask questions. That's it. Like, can I talk to someone and just hope to get some knowledge?
Yeah, knowledge transfer with the hood doctors. Lightsport for 2 says, Hentai Haven TRX Arms collab. Well, no. Carl Casardas.
Hey, you should do a collab. That'd be great.
A collab with Hentai Haven, or with be specific. Anyways, Carl says, ask Lucas if his brothers paid him yet. I don't know. I don't. Generic,
hold on.
Speak.
Hold on. I will answer generically. It is still being worked on. Nothing has happened. No payment has been made. So the rumor that I have all this infinite money somehow to start my company, didn't have that.
Maybe you could have a little bit more, perhaps.
I could definitely have more to do more things. It is true. That is a factual statement. So things are being worked on. I should know more soon, which is nice. But for me, the big thing is I've got great attorneys. I've got a great team. They're doing their thing, and I can 96% of my brain is on Adaptiv and fulfilling our commitments and promises and the things you all have seen, and the clothing company. So like my brain, very little of my brain is going to that, which is nice. It's just the new stuff, the new things, this live stream. I woke up thinking about it. That's not weird. I was thinking about the live stream and what we would talk about. And that's great. Like, it's all business. It's all work now. And that stuff will get resolved somehow at some point, someday. And you all will know. You all will know when it's over. I'm sure there will be something, some announcement, some whatever. It will be made known.
Well, no, I'm not going to ask it, because I said I wasn't going to say anything, but I'll not. I want to ask this question.
I mean, maybe I can just say no.
Well, right. But I mean, you're going to be at SHOT Show. I'm going to be at SHOT Show. Certain other people are going to be at SHOT Show. I didn't know if that would make things awkward or not. If there's any planned interactions. Okay.
Planned? I mean, I wouldn't say planned. I mean, it's SHOT Show. I'll also say there's 50,000 people at SHOT Show. There are people at SHOT I never see, that I know that like I want to see, and I'm running around. Like, I probably won't see you. Like, it's very unlikely I see you.
It's possible, yeah.
And that's fine. No, I mean, I'm just kidding.
Thank you. Oh gosh, 2 hours was enough. Thank you. 2 hours a year. All right.
No, but SHOT's a huge place, and it's like 4 buildings, I think. So like, no, but yes, there are many people in the gun industry that it is awkward for me to run into, especially the ones that pretend they like me, and I know they don't.
No, people would never make videos about you or say silly things about you after the whole, shenanigans went down. That would not happen.
And then see me and be like, Lucas, what's up? Great to see you. And I'm like, I know.
See, that's why it's easier to be me, because I just know everybody doesn't like me. So it makes things so much simpler.
I mean, I'm okay with you.
No, well, thank you. I appreciate that. There's like 4 people. There's like 4 people in the industry that don't hate me. Actually, although I will say, Sons of Liberty Gunworks today reached out to me and they want to send me a Mark 1. So I was like, really?
Okay,
They must have seen my hate coverage of their launch.
I will say they are sending. Not this is bad. They are sending guns to everyone. Now that's not necessarily bad.
See, now I feel worse. I thought I was special. You ruined it for
you
me.
are, because that's a $3,000 gun and it's actually really good. Like it's sick. Like I'm taking mine down, both of mine actually, on this trip to shoot and for a bunch. But they are sending guns to everyone, and it's a good gun, so I don't really blame them. And honestly, I would rather their guns being sent to everyone instead of SIG. I said it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I said it. A gun that works.
See, that's the thing that people don't get about the P320. It works so well. It literally fires 101% of the time.
Okay. I wasn't talking about the 320. I was talking about the MCX, and I love.
Yeah, but I hate the. Listen,
$3,000
for a rail that doesn't hold zero. I don't know, man. I'm always like,
well, the new one, yeah, I wouldn't buy the new one.
Sabardic Noticer for 5 says a 25 was the Fuentes generational run. Couple good interviews lately. Sonny, then Botkin. Will 26 be the Focus Trip generational run? It wasn't 6 milli. Have you been following any of the Fuentes interviews? Pretty hard to avoid.
I'm gonna say something surprising. I've never seen one of his shows.
Me neither.
But I guess, what do you find them? They're on his own website,
Rumble.
right?
Okay, so I take that back. I saw his post Charlie Kirk assassination stream. I watched that.
Okay.
I watched that.
So I've never seen one. I've never gone and sought one out in its entirety. However, I was on my Twitter yesterday for like 30 to 45 minutes watching clips, or it was the day before.
Yeah.
And that's the longest I've ever gone and consumed the frog, or whatever his. Yeah, he's a frog,
Fuentes.
Right? They yeah, I know, but he's like a frog.
No,
character.
I mean the frog is more than just the Groiper.
Okay, that's
the Pepe's for everybody. The Pepe's for everybody.
So it's not him. Yeah, the what do we call him? I mean, obviously there's the
Fuentes. Groiper is what like his.
I always called him
Futanes.
I always called him Futanes. Is what I used to call him.
Hey, you can't. That's misgendering a Mexican man or something. You can't do that.
No, I get that. No, but super fun. Piers, and you know what's funny? I actually I like Piers a lot more than I like him in the sense that he also calls out dumb crap, which is great. I mean, I don't agree with him. I mean, none of us do.
Yeah, he's a liberal, right? So he'll call out things that are illiberal.
Yeah, he's a classical liberal and will call out hard left. And I like that about him. I'm like, hey, I'd talk to him. He seems interesting. He did not do great.
He has anybody on that show.
I'm not big enough, dude. I'm not big enough.
He's had small time like drama YouTubers on there with like 250,000 subs.
Well, I guess I haven't said words enough.
I guess.
So we could change that. I can do whatever I want.
I mean,
now. So,
I know one guy who knows his producer, so maybe I can send emails around.
No, I mean, Nick knows who I am. I mean,
talking about Pierce. Pierce.
Pierce. No. I would talk to him. I mean, he'd be interesting.
Yeah, why not?
I'll talk to just about anyone.
Big British platform could be fun. Thank you for that. I don't know about that 6 milli thing. Sabardic Psycho has a question. Says Lucas, 6 mil or 271K?
I mean, I definitely hope. Okay, I see where this is going.
If we're talking about funding, 6 mil. If we're talking about other things, like it depends. Much like your relatives' underwear, it depends. Josh Leck. This is just Josh for 5 says, damn, look at those rims, Hot Wheels looking fly as hell. What is he referencing?
I bet it made sense.
No,
I bet it made sense when he said it.
It did. It's this one. Yeah, it's the Adaptiv defense.
Dude, reading your chats from that long ago has got to be trippy.
It gets weird because some random comment will be made and you're reading this and you're like, I bet this was funny in context. And now I don't know what you're saying.
So the best guest at handling that would be Jordan Peterson, because he is really good at remembering what was said forever ago. So you just need to get Mr. the doctor on here, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was that time we were talking."
I'm just going to ask him what God is, and he'll ramble on for about 2 hours, and I'll make $4,000 in super chats because I won't know what he says either. But yeah, Sabardic for 2. Yeah, he's not a lol cow, but there are certain things that I don't like. He's not dumb, but he's like purposely obtuse about answering questions succinctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Smart
He's kind
for
of like
two.
Piers. He's like Piers Morgan, kind of, but a little different.
Yeah. Says Lucas, video with a Switch in a Gen 6 when? Well, they're launching at SHOT Show January 20th. So I'm going to be at SHOT Show. I won't even be able to buy one.
They
Be
probably
stuck in
won't be
Vegas.
available to people until like April or May. Like,
Yeah.
and the first batch will go like that, and then they'll be on Gunbroker for $1,200. Like, I'm calling it.
Speaking of that, so your slings are out of stock. Is there anybody on eBay trying to resell one right now?
I hope not, dude.
Yeah,
I will say I
actually
didn't
gonna
do I didn't do any autographs. I didn't sign any invoices. I didn't do any of that. I think I signed one order for someone we know. Or I just wrote my name because it was a note we wrote to them, a card, but none of that. We didn't do any of that. So
Okay, well, I just checked. Nothing on eBay.
okay, people have done that before. They've been like, I want an autograph, and then they put it on eBay for like an extra $100.
Oh wow.
It's lame.
Polly for 20 says, "Be me, show up to stream a mere 9 minutes late. Lucas Botkin is here, seemingly on as much caffeine as John at 8 p.m. Yeah, chugging C4s.
But I'm not on as much caffeine as Alex Karp, the Palantir CEO. I'm not on whatever he's on.
Oh, he said some really base things, but what is that guy? Like,
do you know his story?
No,
do you know his story? They like pulled him out of the woods and were like, "We need you to run this company." Like, no joke. He was like some visionary diva. I mean, obviously, I think he's quite good at what he does. I mean, I would believe it. Divas typically are. And they like pulled him out of like being a hermit and were like, "You're going to run this huge company." And he's running around like bouncing on chairs and stuff and sword fighting. And if it works, it works. You know, I've got a sword as well. Like weird business people have swords. I've got one. It's wooden.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're effective, you can be an oddball. But it's when you're, see, that's the thing, right? If you're really effective at what you do, you can be an oddball. But if you're not effective, if you're not like rich and powerful, you just look like you look like a meth head, right? You might as well be a meth head.
I can't wear like pajamas to SHOT Show until I fly in on a jet and have a helicopter take me to the venue and have like the road. I can't wear pajamas.
Off your private jet to get off on your helicopter to drop you off on the helipad.
Once I have that, I can wear pajamas. It's all right.
All right, it says chugging C4s as a pre-workout for post-stream lifting. Yeah, I have a shoulder press day today, right after this. Deep in conversation already. Imagine my pissidosity. That is not a word. I looked it up because I was like, are you flexing on me with a word I don't know? But no, that is not a word. Pissidosity.
That's a word now. For $20, it better be a word.
Yeah, thank you for the 20. That was very generous of you.
Yeah, thank him. Yeah.
Logan sucks at shooting, who does not suck at shooting. He was at PCL Nats. Says, Lucas, thank you for sponsoring PCL Nats. The FOB palette stage was great. And what a nice hoodie John is wearing. Who could that possibly be from? This is, I know, this isn't an Adaptiv Defense. This isn't a Lucas Botkin. It's not out yet, but this is a Weekend Gunner hoodie, who's also a friend and was also at PCSL Nationals. So, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean,
Max was nice. He gave us that stage. I didn't even pick. Max Lee Grandis was like, "Hey, I'm giving you this stage," and I was like, "Thank you." So Max really. Did that
event do well for you? Do you even know, really? Because it's
so that was kind of a last minute decision, but also this is hilarious. I thought it might have been in Florida, which was close, and one of my guys was going to shoot it, and then my marketing director was like, "No, it's in Utah." And I was like, "All right, well, that's great.
Yeah,
we're still sending all this stuff. We're still involved. We're going to be involved next year. I don't care. Send everything." Like, so
it's building rapport, right? At least now people have seen your name.
It's not about, I'm not doing this for the brand awareness. Like, I'm not. Like, I think more companies need to be involved in shooting sports and the range thing, like we talked about like an hour and a half ago. And the way companies can show support is funding matches with either money or prizes so that they can keep doing stuff and making something cool people want to go to. So realistically, we probably lose money technically from sponsoring matches. And I think a lot of companies probably do, because think about it. Everyone showing up to the match already has stuff. They already bought product. They don't like Vortex marketing at a long range match when everyone's already picked what scope they're going to use does nothing for Vortex. They'll get maybe 2 sales out of a sniper match, maybe. But it shows they're invested in the activity and it's good rapport for them. And maybe it will result in sales 5 years down the road because it's a multi-year cycle and, stuff like that. And that's fine with me. Like, people trying to market events to immediately make a return are retarded. Like, that's not how it works. It takes a long time.
Right. I
Like,
mean, that's like a gun show mentality, right? You're going to go to a gun
Oh,
show
yeah.
and sell a bunch of crap. But yeah, it's funny. At Area 3, the CZ booth was there, so you could go try out all the CZ handguns. And it's like, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're doing really good at the match, then you're like, you don't care. But maybe if you're having a really bad day, you're going to be like, I'm going to a gun.
exactly.
Yeah. Randy for 5 says, Lucas, you should come to Ben's class in Sevierville in April. Sevierville in April?
I would, yeah, I'd love to come to one of his classes, mainly just to hang out, but we're going to be very busy.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have Ben's new book arriving tomorrow, and I know he shouted out the show before, so that should be fun. I think I might try and have Ben on next week. I also want to get Matt Pranka back on. That would be fun, just for a one-on-one talk, not a big panel. You know,
I think it'd be good.
Less conflicts for sure. Lightsport for 2 says test was great to run. Talking about testosterone earlier, internal affairs was not. Yeah, if you're tested or you're not allowed to be on exogenous hormones, then it's probably not very fun.
You're not allowed to do that as a cop. You're not allowed to be on stuff. I'm sure it depends on the agency.
There's got to be something, because there's certain states and places where these things are not technically allowed. Research chemicals. I mean, depending on what you're on, right? Because anybody can get test or whatnot, but certain peptides and other things are
the crazy
banned.
ones.
Yeah.
The Liver King ones.
Yeah, $10,000 a month on just growth hormone, which is crazy. Actually, I saw him at SHOT Show last year. I was like,
have him on your show. Have him on your. Yeah, I saw him a couple years ago.
What are you doing there? Judd for 2 says, what did you do to Richard? What did you do to Gassy? He's gone. No, has the night off. I should have told him earlier, but yeah. Central Science Defense for 10 says, will Adaptiv have more of a precision rifle focus? Saw the heavy sling and tripod strap. Anything else coming in the pipeline that you're totally not leaking?
I wouldn't say focus. I would say I think the precision market, even when I started doing it a year or two ago, I started just noticing things that it didn't have, in my opinion, and wanted to address those, because like the carbine market is so saturated with like everything you can think of. And precision shooting is very expensive and hard to get into. I mean, it was only a few years ago, there were only 2 LRFs on the market. Now there's like many. So I think there's some catching up to do in that market. And it's had a lot of technological growth in the precision shooting market, more than the others, in my opinion. But no, it's not going to be a focus of the company. I do think precision shooting, though, is a much more plausible. It's kind of weird. If you think about preparedness and realism, we'll have a theoretical conversation for a second. Concealed carry pistol for everyone on this live stream, and any person anywhere in the world or in America, doesn't matter, using your pistol at close range, most likely situation, and it happens 60,000 times a year, the FBI statistics or something like that in America, 200,000. It's quite a lot. Pistol use. Carbine is this weird, like it could happen, probably won't, especially with like armor and night vision, all this stuff. And then you have precision shooting, where it's like, okay, well, if crap actually hits the fan, this activity over here is actually probably more likely. Some sort of like Overwatch engagement distance, especially if it's like a World War III type situation, even more so than maybe the carbine stuff. And so that's why I actually think there should probably be more focus shifted over to the long range stuff and marksmanship and team stuff, like 2-man stuff, than the carbine stuff, just because you can use it for more things. And then there's hunting, of course. Like I'm sure now that if I go hunting and, I go out west and I want to shoot an elk or something, my chances and my probabilities of success is much higher now than it was if I had tried to do it, say, 4 years ago with just my carbine rifle knowledge. So like I'm more capable if I wanted to go get into hunting, which I've thought about doing now, than I ever was just as a close range YouTube carbine inside of 50 meters, like rifle shooter.
Yeah. Are you comfortable bracing off of a log at 400 yards on a moving target? Right.
Yep. And then there's like wind and environmentals
all
and
the
different things
stuff
like that. Like and that's why we're hosting a sniper match in February with TTG at GTI. I think there's still some slots open. Great match to do if it's your first match. I invited mullets,
Mountains,
mugshot mullets,
mullets,
America.
mountains, mullets, America, something like that. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Mugshots. Yeah. I invited him because he does long range stuff. And I was like, hey, dude, you want a slot? You want to come out, film a video? Come on out. Like it's a great match format for people that want to not just, shoot USPSA or maybe not just go to the range by themselves. So
Yeah.
we're going to, and then I have a call
gun.
tomorrow. Oh yeah. And I've got a call tomorrow with another group to try to do another sniper match in the fall. So I want like 4 a year that we are just able to like make happen around the country so that people can go and do snipery things because it's fun.
Yeah.
So
it's a hole in the market. Because like you mentioned this before, but there are so few of these matches and they're
there's like a dozen. Yeah.
Remind me,
some
Lucas,
of them are
after this, I need to talk to you about another match that you actually got invited to. Somebody sent the invite to me because they knew that I talked to you. So I'll have to talk to you about that after the show.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Judd for 2 says HR is the Yiddish daycare, so white women don't have kids. That is one of the effects of the modern, household, for sure. You can see that reflected in birth rates across the world, by the way. It's something crazy, actually, not just in America, but like South Korea has like a 0.6, 0.7 replacement rate. So they're like literally dead in 50 years.
Which country?
South Korea.
That's sad.
North Korea wins in the long run just by forcing people to have babies. It's actually quite funny. This comment, my rock hard cock 5 says, let me get your phone number, Lucas. I got something I want to show you. All right. Thank you for that. Polly for 2 says, no more HR. What did he mean by this? Yeah. New backroll. 2 questions for Dinosaur Man. Well, that's dead naming Lucas right there. You can't dead name Lucas.
Gosh. Never thought about that, actually. It's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm proud of what I did. Okay. Like, I'm proud of what I did.
Former Dinosaur Man. Yeah. Will you consider making a 50-50 wool cotton item too? Is it worth it to buy a base Bergara in 6.5?
Okay. I'm about to drop some knowledge. All right. And I don't know if this stream is ready for this. So we've been looking into the natural fiber clothing stuff because it's a big buzzword right now. Everybody wants to wear cotton undies, to maintain testosterone and all that. It makes sense. Like I do believe at some point the fibers we wear against our skin are bad for us. Okay. So we've been doing some research, talking to some folks, and what we have learned though is a lot of the natural cotton or fibrous bamboo being one of them, materials that clothing companies are parroting and saying, oh, it's healthy, are being like extracted and harvested with unhealthy chemicals and means. So in order to make it healthy, to make the product, they are making it unhealthy with unhealthy processes. And then when you get the clothing item, it's not actually a 100% organic thing. It's all a bamboozle. It's a fugazi. It's not even real. And
yeah, I mean, it's like the ethanol industry or like our food industry. It's the same stuff.
But my biggest frustration with the health requirement people have with clothing is, and I talked about this at length with the marketing director, and he's a little crunchy. Just gonna say, I'm not as crunchy, but he's a little crunchy. But we've talked about the whole health thing, and the reality is the people who are saying, I want 100% cotton, 100% cotton, 100% cotton. Well, I know for a fact they don't have 100% cotton on everything. And the food they're eating is worse than any clothing they wear against their skin. Like, that's just a fact. Like, the thing you wear against your body versus the thing you put in you. And so if you are demanding super healthy clothing, make sure, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but make sure you're actually living a healthy lifestyle in order to demand that requirement from everyone. The other thing is most of the healthy clothing fibers and stuff, like the wools can be really good, but they don't repel water like some of the synthetic materials do. Like, there's a reason there are these massive, like multi-billion-dollar mill type companies making clothing and optimizing materials and blends and things to fight water and cold and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm going to use that stuff because that's cool. And I like that. We'll have some cotton items, I'm sure, some healthy things, but I don't think it's as important as some people think it is. And a lot of it's marketing buzzwords. And I hate marketing buzzwords. So just had to go on a little rant. Just some things I've learned the last 6 months that it's just been interesting. So,
and then second part of that question is base Bergara and 6.5 Creed for a do-it-all bolt gun. Good option.
I think those are good. I had one. I shot it once. I feel kind of bad about it because they sent it to me. It shot good. So yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't have it anymore. It's somewhere else, but
Fair
Is
enough,
what it
Noob.
is.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where people like hop on, talk about the health thing and buzzwords. People hop on like test or whatever it might be because like, oh, I feel bad. I should be on test. It's like, well, are you sleeping? It's like, no, I got 4 hours of sleep a night. Are you eating healthy? No, of course not. There's so many things you can fix before you get to like the final top tier thing, right?
Okay, listen, man. We're 2.5 hours in. You didn't have to call me out like that. Come on, what the
heck? Pokestrip's wife for 5. My chat wife says, I love Shopify. It checks me out so fast that it cuts down the time that John finds out about me buying bulk frozen pizzas. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Shopify is great. Our fastest checkout on our website at launch was 38 seconds, and that was thanks to Shopify. So
the chat is very aware of 38 seconds. Some might even say that's a long time for some of these people.
I thought you had intellectuals.
Yeah, well, intellectuals, not lovers. Sabardic for 5 says, Lucas, you should say it. The word. You know the one that starts with N and rhymes with trigger. That's not a $5 word, sir. Prepared Father says, what corner chair do your brothers recommend? That's not very nice. Chat for 5
hold
says,
on. Do you feel obligated to read every comment?
I do read everything. If somebody sends me $2 as just complete nonsensical, I do it. It's my policy to read literally every single one. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not running for office anytime soon?
No, sir. No. So yeah. So okay, I'll give you my 5-year plan. All right. I'm either the most biggest streamer on YouTube, or I'm relegated to Rumble. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. That's my 5-year plan. Which maybe I'll be back to an Amazon driver. You never know. Although Amazon probably wouldn't hire me if I get too much notoriety. So
I will say, I joke about the politics thing, but I mean, President Trump ran on saying all kinds of things, so it's doable now. It's doable. Well, you could still run for office.
The most influential Gen Zer is Nick Fuentes, and he said all of the funny things you could ever want to say, right? So I don't think I'm pushing the line.
What office?
Here.
If he ran for office, what would he run for?
Well, he's in Chicago, so I don't think it would be senator or congressman. Yeah, well, he was raised in like a suburb there, like a mostly white suburb in the area. So he loves his childhood apparently.
But he keeps saying like, I'm trying to get out. It's like, yeah, it's called move. No, I don't know. Maybe it's too simple.
But yeah, it wouldn't be congressman or senator. At least I wouldn't think he would have a great shot to win in those areas.
I think local would be hilarious. Like a local mayor.
Like a mayor? What would he do as a mayor, though? That would be hilarious. Imagine Nick Fuentes, mayor of Chicago. Oh, my gosh.
That's a huge position. A big city. I'm saying small, like I'm saying 100,000 population city, like out west or something like small, not a country.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he definitely could. I mean, we've had actually, it's funny. We've had 3 actor presidents in the last, Reagan.
Well, yeah, and Ukraine's
Trump
got an actor.
Yeah,
I think Israel has an actor. I mean, lots of countries have actors.
Bad actors, you could say. For Chap says for 5, Lucas speaks the truth. Where I work will turn down good training if the instructor isn't state CEU certified. It is in fact gay.
Gay. Okay. You ambushed me with that one.
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite clip. It's so good.
Gay.
Hilter Lover for 2 says, hello everyone, sorry I'm late. Hello Lucas. Noob Actual for 2 says, B14 Ridge 18 barrel to be specific, not for PRS. Talking about his Bergara rifle.
Great gun. It shoots bullet goes places. That's an interesting barrel length for 6.5. Usually it's 22 plus, but cool gun.
I want a 14.5. I want one of the new MRGGs, the Geisley or the LMT.
Oh. Yeah.
Focus Trip's wife has a very important question. Sir Lucas, nog or cider? This is contentious in the chat. Eggnog or cider?
I'm assuming mixing both is an option.
Oh gosh, that's disgusting. That's awful.
So usually, I don't even know if I'm going to get it this year. Usually I'll have I'll have the nog once.
Mm.
And I'll have the cider maybe once. And that's it. Yeah, that's about it. But I think this year's rank.
That's a fence sitter.
I think
That's a
I
fence
think
sitter
no. Oh,
answer right there. I
yeah.
don't
I'm
know about that.
sorry.
Chat's not happy because in
Yeah, it's
here they're
okay.
called noggers or cider fags. So you're either one or the other.
Yeah, I think I'm a rain rider. I don't know. I I don't know what I am. A rain. You guys can figure something out. You're intellectual, so you can figure it out. You figure it out.
Andrew Webb has a new accusation. Says, Lucas, did you base the new company logo off of Atlas from COD Advanced Warfare? So you stole the name from these invalids, these wheelchair bound individuals, and then you stole the logo from a Call of Duty. I mean,
I can either confirm or deny. I mean,
hey, it's cool. Okay,
yeah,
cool concepts. I didn't like the game, but the campaign had some cool concepts in it, right?
I thought the villain was very compelling.
Yeah, it didn't even have to act. It was just his real life personality. Lightsport 5 says, hell yeah, CP like security. Do not abbreviate cyberpunk. Don't do that. Why is everyone looking at me? What did I say? Yeah. Do not abbreviate cyberpunk. Polly for 10 says, paper credentialing is actually a broadly applicable critique of our entire society. It's all feminine coded. Society is hyper feminized. True. Results over prestige is a masculine frame absent in society. Thank you,
I have
Polly.
no
Appreciate that.
I have zero papers. I'm a mutt, and I like it. I'm proud of it even.
Poop Dynamics, great Instagram page, says can't do 6 mil. Lucas, best I can do is 284. All right. Thank you. Matthew Dropcoast for 2 says for the general fund. All right.
What is
thank
the
you.
general?
Appreciate
What is the general fund? What is
I don't. My
your money? Your money? Yeah.
My budget. Yeah, that's Vandalay for 2 says where can I buy some Lucas trademarked skinny jeans? Our skinny jeans going to be in the first product launch.
No,
that's what I need to know.
No. I actually no. I believe it or not, I need some jeans. They're a little bit bigger.
A little wider.
I've been cultivating mass. I mean, no, not wider. No, just in the thighs and the leg, calf, especially. Knee can stay a little tight, taper.
Yeah, you need to help your knee grow. Yeah.
Hugo Boss had some very good lines, and so like I want, the jeans need that too. We're not doing skinny. Absolutely not. I actually wanted to kill the jeans. And our marketing director was like, no, we have to do jeans. I actually wanted to kill them. They're really nice though, but I wanted to do some other stuff. So yes, there will be jeans as of right now. We're currently in the figuring out the wash phase. That's a whole process. Washes.
Blackbeard for 5 says, Lucas, are you still connected with Freimeyer? Might be cool to do some more soft goods with him. Last I heard he was working with Vertex on some stuff.
I'm not connected. I think some of that information is very dated. I
don't even know who Freimeyer is, so that's
I know these things.
All right, Lightsport for 2 says flexing cats is Troon coded. Go show off a dog.
I got 2 beautiful Dobermans. Beautiful.
That's the best security system you can buy right there.
Well, if they actually were angry, yes, but
well, yeah, there are some dogs that are like, oh look, I knew somebody else to play with. Like that's an intruder.
My small, well, she's thick with mini C's, but she is very ferocious, but she ain't doing nothing. She running away.
Oh, scaredy cat Doberman. It's like when you see a small dog interact with a big dog, and the small dog doesn't realize it's a small dog, and the big dog doesn't realize it's a big dog, and the small dog just bullies it.
Yeah. She would get bullied. It's true.
Yeah. Amorai Boy for 2 says, I don't like cats because they make me sneeze. Yeah, I never grew up with cats because my parents were allergic to cats. I'm not allergic to cats. My wife's family has cats, but it's not my thing. I think they're fine. Focus Trip's wife, speaking of dogs, says, John, you should get that carrier. Hey, Lucas, would that carrier hold a 5'2", 120 pound ... dog? All right.
I'm trying to remember what we talked about at minute.
Well, so that was about
like
the
30,
that was about the
30.
You gotta this is the thing that like Jordan Peterson, Nick Fuentes, a few of these guys are really good on recall. I have terrible recall. So like if I'm in a debate or I have to like talk to somebody, I have to have like a list of everything sitting off to the side because I won't just be able to pull it off the top of my head. Like if you told me what are the crime statistics of certain races, I would still have to look it up. I mean, I know the meme, but I
No,
would have to actually pull it up.
just make it up and then
Yeah,
say.
well, I mean, you could do that.
And then
I could
when you're
say,
wrong, you just go, "Oh, I was wrong."
80% of all statistics are made up on the spot anyway, so I don't think that's too big of a stretch. No Home says, Lucas, these Botkin. All right. I don't know what that means. Thank you, no name. Slimy Chud says, civilian lamb coming soon. Please, Lucas, spill the beans.
It's not soon, and I don't like it.
It's
It's with someone else. They are very busy, and and it will be later. And so I'm now thinking about other things, and when they start working on it, then I will be involved again. So it is what it is.
When the stars align. Coral says Uncle OG target now. Yeah, they want a more diverse target array. Okay, just
Yes, we're at minute 43.
Yeah,
right
now we're there. Hurtado Defense. Angled pistol mag pouches similar to S-Tac, please.
Okay, I will say we talked about what you messaged me about today. Brantley said it was gay very loudly. But it's on the list. I left it on there. It has a priority number. It's towards the bottom. But we did talk about your idea. Because I believe you're the one who DM'd. He DM'd me an idea.
Is Brantley anti-angled pistol pouches?
No, this guy was suggesting the bullets face a certain direction.
Oh, facing out or backwards?
I believe
is not correct.
Differenter than that.
No, not upside down.
It can't be.
No, not upside down, not flat. Because I've seen the upside down carriers. I hate that. I don't know. There's something about that makes me angry inside.
You're totally leaving off a perfectly normal orientation.
I said straight up and down, sideways.
You have that, and then you have.
But the reverse can't. Why? My wrist doesn't bend that unless you're like.
Some people are golems. Like some people are like little goblin hands. Ben does that. He does.
Well, he does them facing outwards. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was using somebody else's rig. I think it was Logan Sucks at Shooting, and his is outward as well. And I'm like, why do you do this? But it works. It works for some people. They like it.
So you can fit more ammo, which back when production was 10 rounds made a lot of sense.
Oh, that's fair.
Because you can stack everything and
really
have a roll Rambo set up. Yeah,
I got you. Lightsport produces. You should make them brothers. Whoa, for targets. That's dark, bro. Randy reviews and says, Lucas, will you make me a big Chungus carrier? I will come model it for the website. See, Randy's on the reverse, so you're getting bigger, stronger, gaining weight. He's on the downward trend, losing weight.
Yeah,
he's trying to meet in the middle.
So yeah, there's this really cool drug that makes you go blind when you're older, but you could try that.
Okay, skinny, you'll go blind later, but
is that okay? Wait, hold on. Well, no, in all seriousness, is that a thing? Have they deduced that Ozempic will make people blind? Or is that a rumor?
Well, I know it reduces bone density, which is not great when you're older, because if you don't like snapping bones when you're older, then that's not fantastic. But I was talking to somebody else about it. It's like, if the health benefits are, I'm going to have reduced capacity when I'm older, or I will never get older, then the positives still outweigh the negatives, even if there are long-term complications. So, I mean, it depends on who you are, but yeah. That is kind of
I'm not on it.
On modern. Yeah, well, you don't need to be on it. That's kind of an indictment on modern society, right? It's like you can get so fat, we can keep you alive for so long, and then we can sell you drugs to not be that thing anymore. Yeah. Chad for two says, rail name suggestions: Georgian Floydian Fentrail. Fentrail.
I think the Google SEO would not go well with that.
Yeah, I don't know how that ranks. Poop Dynamics says, Lucas, I need help with developing an optic mount, please. Ooh, okay. Optics mounts in the future. Everybody does those, bro. We need
honestly, I don't think I want to make an optic mount ever again. And I don't think anyone needs one. I mean, unless it's like red dot and then ACOG on top. Or like something.
Wait, sorry, what?
I will not elaborate. Next question, please.
Next question is 271K at most rail. All right, that's very expensive. Very expensive. Overpriced, I would say. Zanico says Raptor rail, the Raptor rail. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Slimy Chud is girth maxing. Yes, it's a girth maxing rail.
We're at minute hour.
48. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous for two says, ask Lucas if you pre-ordered a
No.
Gen 6 Glizzy.
Can
I don't
you?
even
Hey,
think
can you?
can. That's what I
Does
was about to
Glock
ask
do
that. I
that?
have no idea.
Well, okay.
Maybe a distributor would allow you to if they knew they
I
were getting a
have
bunch.
asked places like Glock Store. So it's doable. It's doable. Okay, but you have to know someone and you're like, hey, reserve me one. It's not a pre-order. It's like, please hook me up, homie. Like I need the thing. I need the fix. But no, I won't get one for probably years.
Oh,
And I'm
actually,
not doing a
yes.
video on one.
You can pre-order them right now on Glock Store, actually. So, and if you're going there, they might have some early. They might have some early.
They let me see things early. So whenever they are about to get them, I'll probably drive over and actually I probably won't. I'll probably shoot one whenever I go anyway.
Well,
I'm not going to make a special trip to shoot a Glock that shoots 9mm.
Well, but right, neither of us are particularly excited about it. But I mean, it might actually be good just for normie marketing level, right? Because if you just make a quick Instagram post or video about it, it's going to get some attention, right? If you do it a couple days early, I don't know.
Listen, I don't make decisions about attention anymore.
Well, but I'm just saying for marketing purposes, you get to shoot and market at the same time. I mean,
dude, if I'm thinking about marketing purposes, then I get way more ridiculous.
See, I already have
I say much more words, and then I'm good.
I already have the title for you. It's the Glock has revolutionized the gun industry once again. There you go.
And the ATF, a new ruling on the ATF has just come out.
With Joe Biden reaching into the screen, the glowing eyes, the Constitution burning behind you in the background. Yeah.
And I wear a lab coat.
Yeah. Yeah, because you failed med school in New Jersey or something. Moski for two says mounting similar to Q-Cert. Yeah, it's not Q-Cert. It's the Remington variation on the rail.
Okay, so this is weird. So Remington is the holes, right? You look at it and you're like, oh, those are 2-inch holes. They're not 2-inch holes. It's 1.964, I think, from center to center. Why didn't it just go to 2? I'll never know. Some Remington guy will probably tell me, or Kevin will claim that he did it. I don't know. Maybe he did. So it's not 2-inch. So it's not 2-inch spacing. But when Q made Q-Cert, he took the slot and he made his nubbins that go in the slot taller. So Q-Cert isn't even, and it didn't have to be. I don't know what the argument was. I think they tried to say they improved it. He just made them taller. So our rail, we might be able to fit both Remington and Q-Cert in our rail, but right now it is Remington only. The true original.
Well,
that's what we do.
Are you relying on the aftermarket for that, or are you going to be making your own attachments?
We're making our own everything. There's very few aftermarket. There's like 3 companies that have. We have to make everything. Light mounts, Harris bipod, short pick, long pick. Someone already has ARCA, but we will do everything, and we're going to price them cheap. Like we're not going to make a lot of money on the accessories because I want people to be able to get them like easily and not pay like
the rail's $300.
I think
and then you're like $50 for a pick section.
Yeah, I think the Q-Cert sections are like $50, $45, and I'm like, that's no.
Well, but you got to think you're already spending $3,000 on a honey badger. Okay, so what's wrong? What's another $50, bro? Come on, don't be poor.
See, and this is what's funny. I'm not trying. My objective with Adaptiv is not super affordable, like the budget gear. Like I'm not doing that. But there's a time and a place when you look at a product and you're like, hey, we can actually make this cheaper for people, for consumers, because it's more of sort of a consumer product. And that's actually good for them. And we'll still make some money. So it's okay. Like there's a time and a place to doing that. And we're going to do that. And then there's other products like we may make a plate carrier that's $600. People are going to complain, but it's like, that's what the material costs. That's what it's complex. It's difficult to make. Sorry, guys. You'll buy it or you won't. That's just how it is.
Do one of those videos like Q where it's all black and white and you hold up a board and you're like, why everybody is poor or something like that. Be great.
Maybe this is why people realize is why I'm preaching financial smarts so people can spend more money with my company.
Ooh, there you go. It's like reverse psychology or something.
But also telling
so that you can spend it with me.
But also telling people not to spend money. See, it's
well, I mean, to be honest, there's mixed signaling here because so many people have wasted so much money trying to get us to say silly things already, which is not. It's great for me, don't get me wrong, but my money could be better spent other places. I'm just saying. Dogwater Dale for 2, Lunker Layer. Sorry, Lunker Rail. Sorry.
Definitely
Dogs.
a $2 suggestion.
Yeah, throw that at the bottom of the list. Taunton
I will
Dogs for
say
two.
$2.
Racist rail. That's Zany Co says clear anodized rail, please.
So
are you doing colored rails, or do they call them rails of color?
the colors will fluctuate based on how much whatever. Yeah, whatever they have inside of them. So to start, they will be black.
Oh, okay.
So maximum melanin in the rail. Dark mode rails.
Dark mode accurate.
But I think, and I don't like drop culture. I don't like the pre-order stuff. I hate it. But because so many people have asked for a raw aluminum, it won't be clear ano, I don't think. Although that actually might be a better idea, because then we may have to put anodized on it anyway. But I kind of want to do some raw aluminum or clear ano at least, like a run of like 100. And just be like, hey, we're just gonna do these, and they're out there. Maybe we'll do some later, but like we need to make just our normal black ones, maybe our tan ones, or our shale gray color that we like. That's sort of a tan gray. It's green, like it matches with multicam pretty good too. Shale gray Cerakote. And we might do some, but if we do, it'll be very few. And maybe it's something we give away. Maybe it's something I don't know. Maybe if I bring my Twitch streams back, we give those away. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we'll speaking of drop culture, you need to do very limited runs of just like wacky colors. Like what's that? You got the purple haze or a bunch of other wacky ones. Like Aero Precision is really good at this, and you want to be associated with them for that.
Oh, of course, naturally. Yeah. So our prototypes are often, or they're going to be, or they have been sometimes, multicam and black. So like multicam with black Molly or black whatever, and they do look vibey. They do look cool. So we might do some prototype runs again in year 2. I think once we get some things established, get some things figured out, we have some stuff going on. I think year 2 is when we're gonna hit our stride, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's already fun, but it's gonna be real fun. Double fun.
Double the fun. Ridiculous for 2 says the hate rail. All right, H8. It's cute. Chud says clever. The TND rail, not very catchy, also problematic. Moski for 5 says exigent suppressors allegedly have the best 3D printed lightweight cans right now, and they are super quiet. Yeah, everybody claims that their 3D printed can is the newest, lightest, quietest, lowest back pressure can on the market. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not really that excited about cans. I'm like, just give me reduced back pressure. I think a good mounting system.
My theory, most people don't care about suppressor culture is weird because the only people, okay, I'm going to generalize, but I don't care because it's fun. Suppressor culture is super, like there's very few people that are nerdy about them, and everyone else doesn't give a crap. They do not care because they'll only own 1 or 2 because of the tax stamp and the paperwork, and it's annoying. And the guys who are constantly talking about like, oh, this new can, this new thing, like they're the kids who are single, were in single parent or single, they were the single child. And they had trains growing up, and they didn't get along with kids at school. Yeah. And those are the people who are like, oh, this suppressor came out, it's amazing, back pressure, and they start spouting stuff off. And it's like, dude, no one cares. Like there's a small, even in the military, there's a small segment of people who actually care about, because they're doing some weird stuff, and they actually care about first shot flash for very specific reasons. And the rest of the military is like, it's a suppressor, goes on my gun, kills, don't care. Like, the suppressor market is very weird. It's not like the optics market where like there's differences and people, care a lot. They use the things. Like I've shot lots of different cans, and I can't really tell you the differences between all of them unless it's a flow through or a normal one.
The biggest
they all kind of they all like shoot the same.
You recognize when you can't see or you can't breathe for a second, right? Versus like you put a can on your gun and then there's very little difference. You're like, oh, this is nice. What a nice little thing I have here.
Yep.
Thank you, Mo. No home. 30 years old. No thanks. I'm not hag maxing. Yeah, I'm into my Gray Fox era. Sorry about that. New Backroll says mixed clothing is juice proof. Talking about the mixture of wool and cotton earlier. Do Jews not like wool and cotton? Wool and cotton. Sorry.
Something about blending materials is not.
It's not kosher.
Yeah.
Ryan Gopchi says, Lukey, do you shave your butt? Wow. Thank you for that.
You just got $5 off that comment.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad someone's profiting. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'm here for the people. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Hey, you want to come on the show and just have people throw tomatoes at you for $2 a pop? I
don't even get 10%. I don't even get 51%.
That's not true. I'm trying to give you money, but the slings aren't up on the website.
Oh, that's true. Well, be very fast on Friday.
Yeah, well, I know the drop is at 6 p.m. on Friday. You've heard it here first. The drop is at 6 p.m. on Friday. Carver for 2 says, name your rail the Combat Llama. Trust me. No. Chip Stebble says,
by the way,
LBT.
By the way, I'm going to go in 6 minutes. 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
No problem. Dude, 3 hours is insane. Thank you for sticking around this long. Well, for that, then we're actually just going to get to the important ones. Strapped LB Style for $20 says, Lucas, your individual business units, are they set up as an ESOP or own any co-owners? ?
It's all me.
Perfect. Curious, when obtaining talent that are experts in each individual business unit field, are those individuals co-owners or an ESOP?
In the future, I even with my history, I love the idea of having employees who are invested due to ownership. I think it's great. We even talked about that at the old company in later years. We actually started talking about that quite a lot. So I'm a big fan of the options. And obviously there's the employee owned thing you can register for, and you divvy up like half the company, and there's some tax stuff. There's some stuff there. I like the idea of employees being involved and rewarded and having a piece of the pie, but also being on the hook for it as well. So it is a two-way street.
Right?
They have responsibility. I'm going to take a break from doing some of that for, a little bit, get some things going. And then in the future, I want to adopt some policies and trajectories for people and reward those, because I do. One of my favorite things about Bezos, and regardless of what you think about his politics, he's a smart dude. He's a smart, bald guy. He said that he thinks it's interesting that people always talk about like how much money they make as like their resume, right? Like, oh, I generated X number of revenue, whatever. When it should be, this person generated X amount of revenue for these people, because he only owns, I think, something like 9% of Amazon or something very low. It's like 20% or something. It's not what you think. You think he owns like 51% of it or 60% of it or something. No. He owns like 20%, and he is making hundreds of billions of dollars for lots of people and all the shareholders, which is pretty cool when you think about it. So, and I would love to be in a situation. I've made people a lot of money, different people and companies as well. And it's a lot of fun doing that, especially for people that, respect that and understand that. And I'd love to do that for people. And, but right now taking a little break from, doing that, being 100% owner, and in the future, figuring out how to do that. Long-winded answer, but I do think it's an interesting point that a lot of people they've never experienced being in a direct position, making other people money and knowing it. I mean, obviously if you're an employee, and there's the memes like, oh, I'm making money for shareholder value. And there's the memes, like, obviously, but like, no, when you're in a position where you have a direct, like hand on the switch and on the levers that control where the ship is going, that can make everyone behind you successful. It's invigorating. It's very cool. So I want to do that in the future, but taking a little break right now. So,
well, you got a lot of stuff to focus on. Promo's on order for $50.
$50.
Yes. Says, how do we invest into the new company?
So because you spent $50 that I will not see a single dollar from, I will answer the question. So I have been in talks with a number of investors who have reached out. I've had quite a few, and in the future, there will be investment opportunities, because again, like I just said, like this whole concept of, using other people's money and going and making them more money, taking 100 talents from other people and making another 100, which is super fun. I would like to do that. It may not be with what I'm doing right now, because I'm funding it myself. But in the future, like with the range project potentially, because that needs a lot of money, this manufacturing concept, that also needs a lot of money. There is a possibility to have some investors. And I think that would be fun and interesting and allow me to go faster. And I want to go really fast. Like
It
I don't want to say
requires
I've been
money to
held.
do that.
Yeah, I don't want to say I've been held back, at any point in my life, because I don't want to look back and have regrets, because that's gay. But
No
now,
regrets.
yeah, but now that I have like, I can make some decisions. I can look at what's going on. I can call who I need to on the phone. I can email whoever I need to. I don't need to get permission. I don't need to, consult with anyone necessarily. I do talk to my wife a lot about everything that's going on, obviously, but I don't have to get a whole lot of permissions to do what needs to happen. I can just go really fast. I like the idea of deploying additional capital. So in a year or so, I may be reaching out to some folks and making some bigger moves. And I have the track record with some of the financials, some of the numbers and things that people have seen.
Yeah,
that
you've doubled
I
your
can do some of
resume
that
over the last year.
I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I have 2 jobs. It'll be 3, next year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, with some more companies popping up. Another 50 from Justin Carlin, aptly insane. This is more of a joke. Says Lucas, 8-6 blackout or 338 arc. Jason, Hornady, and KB are watching.
People should shoot 5.56 more because they suck.
Oh,
So,
there we go. That's the right answer, actually. Yeah.
that's the traditional
100%.
answer.
Yeah.
I'll get some of those someday. Maybe. I don't know.
All right. If you have time or if you're going to cut off.
One more. I'll do this one.
Oh, there we go. Polly B, actual request for Lucas. Multicam Tropic. I'm from the Houston Metro. The entire world isn't arid. In fact, the entire Deep South is where a lot of your customers benefit from this option.
I believe those are going away.
Oh.
So M81's going away, I will say. Mills are stopping making it. So some of the camouflages are disappearing. Because again, some of it's the Trump slump. I think like the market exploded 2018, 19, 2020. Everyone was getting into it. I think police departments as well were like, whoa, multicam has like different colors. And they started buying stuff. And then I think everyone kind of was like, oh, it's just colors. Like we don't really care. So a lot of the mills are stopping making some of these camos. I think Arid is going away. I don't know about Tropic. I think, but some of those multicams are getting not made / are getting ramped down. And I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years we're back to like the original kind of 5 colors of 2013. And that's all we have. Sad that I'm sure for some of you to hear, but for companies, it's great because it's less SKUs, it's less to worry about, it's less material you have to buy. And I don't want to stock 8 different colors. And big respect to people like Spiritus and other folks who do that. Well, if it's in stock, that is. But I will not be doing that. If, however, an organization comes forward or if there's considerable interest in a color that justifies it, we would do it because that's a need that needs to be met and we would meet it because that's what I like to do. But if it's like 5 people going M81, I'm like, sorry, dude, like
5 people, right?
Yeah,
they're
I
really
can't do
loud, and then you invest all this money into it, and then nobody buys it.
Well, and
like,
sometimes they don't buy because then they're like, "Well, your thing was too expensive, even though you made it M81." And I'm like, "All right, well, I'm screwed." So that's a tough one. But
well, all right, Lucas. I really, really appreciate your time, sir. I am going to drop your links in the chat. Everybody go check out Adaptiv Defense. Sign up for the Sling Drop, which is coming Friday. So you better sign up earlier rather than later. And also, of course, the YouTube channel, simply Lucas Botkin. Anything else you want to shout out or say before you get out of here, sir? And I'll message you about that match after this.
Yeah, to shoot me DM. Shout outs. Yeah, everyone work hard and be exceptional at your jobs. Make money. Be smart with it. I'm not going to be the Dave Ramsey of the gun industry. I refuse. I don't want to do that. Plus, I don't have
Lucas Botkin Enterprise.
Yeah.
Is the money consulting part of it.
No, money consulting. Well, that's a whole interesting conversation. The underbelly of some of that, but no, I don't want to do that. But it's just, hey, be smart. Like we don't want to be retards. Even if the left and everyone else thinks we're retarded Southerners, gun crazy. Like, no, let's be competent people. The founding fathers, a lot of them were quite wealthy. They were able to do things with that wealth to fight the war. They were able to do crazy things. John Paul Jones and John Hancock, people like that. So aspire to own your own smuggling ship. So when things get crazy, you can smuggle either weapons from another country, hypothetically in Minecraft, or Bibles to another country. So yes, we should all aspire to own our own ships and be involved in that. And I know that sounds like too big, too lofty, and a lot of people can't, fathom that. But if you set your sights here on anything and you don't hit it, you're going to be here, and that's a lot better than setting your sights down here. So that's my advice, and why the motto for the company is relentless ambition. We are setting our sights here. We're not going to hit them at all times, but if we can do this, I'm happy. If we can just fall a little bit short of that, I'm happy with that. No mediocrity, no averageness, because that's gay. We're not doing that.
That's right.
No.
All right. I
That's how it
appreciate
is.
that, sir. Have a good
Absolutely.
rest of
Thanks for
your
having
night.
me on. And you guys have fun with the rest of the comments. So
I'll do my best. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
awesome. See y'all.
All right, gents. Thank you to everybody hanging out once again. Thank you to Lucas Botkin for giving me 3 hours of his time so that you guys could try and make him say and do wacky things, and I'll do all the silliness that you guys enjoy doing so much. Now, I do want to say to all of the chats and all of the questions about Lucas, for Lucas, I tried to get to the big ones. I apologize to everybody. I am reading the Ko-Fi. I am reading the rest of the super chats. Do not worry about that whatsoever. Okay, I'm getting to all of them because there's still 46 super chats and there's still Rumble and Ko-Fi to get to. So I am reading the Ko-Fi. Do not worry. Yeah, that's right, Zany Co. Get out of here. Nobody wants to see you around here. Apologize. All right, Chip Stubbo for 2 says LBT 6094 in M81 Woodland. We just talked about M81. Somebody called it Cold War Fag LARP. Sorry. Moonman's upset at me as if he didn't show up 2.5 hours late to stream. If you had super chatted on time, if you were, a white individual, not on melanin time, then maybe you could have gotten some of your chats answered. Sorry. Polly, although I shouldn't say that, Moonman, considering your insane donation last stream. Polly B for 2 says, hit the like button, you reprobate MiG-15s. Again, we're past the 2 hour mark, so you can just say the faggot, which is what we called the MiG-15. Samurai Boy for 5 says, I know of 2 small companies near me that make stuff for Magpul, Smith & Wesson, Matthews, Raytheon, etc., etc. Yeah, well, I mean, I know the space program was a little fake and gay, but they had like 40,000 companies making parts for that, like literally some insane number. It's like 40,000 of them. 94 Todd for 5 says, at Lucas, what's the best way to get into contact about a product idea? Well, send him a DM on Instagram. That's what I would say. Send him a DM on Instagram, and apparently he takes notes of all the retarded ideas you guys give him. So there's that. Thank you, Todd. Everett Boy for 2 says, will he make a handguard in DPMS high rail for AR-10s? I would guess. All right, I'm going to take a guess here at this because Lucas isn't here anymore. Maybe someday. That's my guess. All right, maybe if the original rail sells well, if the original, people like it, it performs well, then maybe he would think about branching out into AR-10s. That would be my guess. Lightsport for 2 says, can we do a live fire at a Somali residence? Hey, coming to a city near you. You never know. Subarctic Psycho for 5 says, in the shower, shaving my pipe, not to flex, but it's multiple inches.
Gay.
All right. Shaving, whatever. Art Vandalay for 5 says, they don't want you to know this, but you can just go to your nearest hood and have a 360-degree area for free. No subscription required. True. Very true. Thank you, Vandalay. Chromosome Hoarder for 5 says, God bless you and your wife, Lucas. Absolutely. Oh, and John, I guess. Oh, thanks. I'm glad to be an afterthought to my own audience. Patterns for 5 says, Lucas, I know you've mentioned tall sizes for the clothing company. Make me a nice fleece jacket, and my money is yours. Well, yeah, if he's coming out with a fleece jacket, right. But if he's making tall sizes and you're a tall boy, probably some cool things in store to look out for next year. Not any rush on that. Next year. Vandalay for 2 says, go to Kin Ramen on 57th Street next time you're there. Talking about New York? I don't know, Vandalay. I feel like I'm going to get dragged down a tunnel if you tell me to go to a specific address. Is that a front for your mob boss? You're going to shake me down? I don't know, Vandalay. Chromosome order for 2 says 3.5 inches. Horse. Yeah. Basically. Subarctic Psycho for 2 says, Lucas's goal, become a lobbyist. I'm all for it. Well, that's the thing, right? You have rich and powerful people who are your enemies, who are actively trying to subvert your way of life, who are actively trying to make your life worse, to make your life more difficult, all this sort of stuff. So you either, communist style, kill them all, right? You could do that. That's an option. Or you have somebody who is the opposition to that. You have your donor class, but a right-wing donor class. You have a right-wing lobby group, a truly right-wing lobbying group, not APAC. All right. Truly right-wing lobbying group. That's the goal. Focus from Swiper 2 says, love my job as a basement baddie. Basement baddie, that's the new term. Moonman for 5, showing up, 2 hours into the stream. If you had got, I could have done it, almost. If you had been earlier. Says, I'm back from the autism mines. The toy train is around the tree at Big Fed. What are we talking about, and why is it twink maxing with Lucas Botkin? We're talking about defending adaptively. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Thank you, Moonman. Moonman again for 5 says, Sonny stayed for the super chats, and he is a boomer. Lucas has to stay and cannot, in fact, call people slurs in proxy chat in Arc Raiders. You can't do that? You can't call people slurs in Arc Raiders? That's gay. That's gay. You should be able to. You should be able to do that in every game. But now 3 hours is a long time. Lightsport for 2 says, is your lawyer a Jew? Well, Lucas has a firm of lawyers working for him, and I imagine some of them are of Semitic defense, as again, not saying anything specific, but, they tend to gravitate towards certain positions. Thank you, Lightsport. Y33 TMF for 10 says, Lucas, your USPTO team is slacking. Not kidding. United States Post Office? What are you talking about? USPTO's team is slacking. I don't even know what that acronym is. Maybe that's an inside joke I don't get. USPTO. What is that? Oh, United States Patent and Trademark Office. Oh, okay. I don't know. You're saying that they don't like the logo. You don't like the logo. It's too similar to something else. What? I did see Students of Violence in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here, hanging out. Super chat drops $10. Doesn't say anything. I think that was a little bit of an oopsie. So if you want one of those refunded, just let me know. Weekend Gunner, who you can also get really cool sweatshirts right now. You don't have to wait till next year. You can get sun shirts and hoodies at weekendgunner.com. In fact, let me pull it up real fast while I'm sitting here. Thank you, Lance says, is Adaptiv going to have a USPSA team? Asking for a friend. Yeah, sure. See, this is what I was talking about. Lucas needs to do like drops of like Miami Tiger Stripe and some of these other colors. But you can go right now, weekendgunner.com. Check these out if you're interested in cool stuff that you can buy right now. Thank you, Lance. Polly for 5 says, the arc of American history is long, but bends invariably to the will of Nicholas J. Fuentes. I don't know about that. I would say Nick is a product of the environment, not the other way around, right? He's not shaping America to his will, but he was definitely a product of the issues in America, 100%. Thank you, Polly. Students of Violence for 10 says, let Lucas know if he needs backup in Vegas, I got his back. His brother would not put us in touch when I was working at Tactical Response. Big gayness from Isaac. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. Appreciate the $10, sir. Thank you very much. It's very generous of you. Y33 TMF for 5 says, Students of Violence, his brother is too busy losing his shit because he doesn't own 51% of Lucas's new venture. And yeah, I kind of wish I could have gotten to more of these questions, but Lucas talks, and he's a very good talker, right? And so some of his answers were a lot longer, so we could have gotten to more super chats if he was a little more concise. Totally fine. Says, ask, because this is an important question to get to. Ask Lucas if a wrap/burrito is a sandwich. I'll have to text him that. What do you think about this? Very important. Justin Carling for $20. Dude, you have been insanely generous. I saw your 50 come in and I had to get to that one because it was bigger, but if I could have gotten to more, I would have. I should have focused on the big ones to start because yeah. So I do apologize for that. Says I'll rock a Lucas hoodie. Also, Lucas, thank you for the behind the scenes building the business. Yeah, I hope he does more of that style of content because that's content that you can't get other places and it's very helpful to people. Thank you, Justin. Moonman for 5 says students of violence, it's not. Don't make you pay another $200. Dollar General John Lovell. That's quite funny. Thank you for that. Dollar Store John Lovell. Jim Eagle UC 2 says, can we have a new GunTuber stream at the end of the year? We are going to be doing at the end of the year a best and worst of 2025, just like we did last year. I'll probably try and get Hop and Brass Facts and some of the other YouTubers on. If there's some other small YouTubers that want to come on, and I say that as a small YouTuber, I'd be happy to do a big panel show at the end of the year. So, Jim, you want a spot? Fine with me. Justin Carling for 20 says Lucas's thoughts on 6 Arc. I think he's going to tell you the exact same thing. It's gay, and you should shoot more with 5.56. Actually, I have a statement from him right here.
Gay.
There it is. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. So it's insanely generous of you, sir. TK's Tiny Peen for 5 says, is Lucas planning on starting puberty anytime soon? Well, I mean, the test and the working out and all the other fun stuff. I'm sure it's going along nicely. Thank you, TK's Tiny Peen. Focus Trip's wife for 5 says, ask Lucas if a hot dog is a sandwich. Students of violence is trying to brainwash everyone into thinking that anything with flour is a sandwich. Very important. Very, very important. Jaeger drops $1, says nothing. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jaeger. Y33 TMF for 5 says, also do a PSR collaboration on your upswing. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably see PSR at SHOT Show, but I don't know if him and Lucas are going to be doing any collaborations anytime soon. You never know, though. Students of Violence for 5 says, John, is Lucas coming down to class here with you? I would guess that Lucas is far too busy, juggling 3 new businesses and all the other ventures that he's a part of. So I would wager that he's far too busy for that, though. So we'll have to see. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And Axe to Grind for 2 says, can Lucas rebarrel an AK? I doubt it. Because that's for nerds and artists, all right? And Slavaboos, who end up being insanely degenerate somehow. Absolute Moonman for 2 says, so is there a dollar amount that buys the word? Well, I'd say it to you for free, right? How about that? TK's Tiny Peen for 5 says, is it true Lucas is hiring Trench as a spokeswoman? There it is. I was wondering, where's the Trench hate? There's always Trench hate in the chat. And that was the first one, like 2 hours in. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Trench's position currently. It's kind of up in the air as Lucas's new spokesperson. Okay, don't misgender him. Strapped LB Style for 5 says, read my Lucas question, previous super chat before Lucas leaves. I did get to it. I know. There was a lot of big ones, and I apologize to all the people that I didn't get it to. And Axe Prime for 2 says, Lucas's thoughts on the Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1. Well, if you didn't hear Axe to Grind, so Sons of Liberty Gunworks, they reached out to me today, and they're going to be sending me, I believe, the 11.5. And I rescheduled my flights to Vegas so that I could go to their range day. So I will be shooting I'll be getting it whenever they send it. And I will also be, be at the range day. So I will have thoughts on that as well. But as Lucas said, he likes it quite a bit. He thinks it's good. And he's taking both of them to his new trip. So he's good. Axe Brian, appreciate that. Creek Shoe Operator says, Lucas, can you please oil up? All right, the things I read. TK's Tiny Peen for 5 says, if Lucas, Sonny, and Trench are in the hot tub again, who makes the pina coladas? I was going to say something funny. PSR. No. Haley Lujan. I don't know. Thank you, TK's Tiny Peen. Jaeger for 2 says, thoughts on starting a business with no capital? Well, for a $2 super chat, that might be very relevant. As far as my business went, I started it with $7,000 to buy steel plates for targets. That's how I started my business. And then it morphed from there. So no capital is difficult unless you have something that you can just kind of make and buy in very limited quantities. It's difficult, but you can do it. Thank you, Jaeger. Appreciate that. Lightspore for 2 says the jeans need to be a 54 short for Micah Mayfield. 54 short. That's a bowling ball. Bro, that's just a bowling ball at that point. Appreciate that, Lightspore. Kino Commando for 4 says, Lucas, how do I hide a 70 kilogram horse that sleeps 24/7? That's a great question. Absolutely great question. I recommend burying them in a garden bed and then planting flowers and a bunch of other stuff. Now, you got to be careful because over time, through the horse decomposing time period, it'll actually raise up the area around it. So it can kind of create a disturbance if, you know, you have people looking for a horse, right? They could see a part of your garden that's raised up a little bit over time. So you got to be careful with where you plant them, so to speak. So just keep that in mind. But I would bury them. Lightsport from 5 says, Lucas, when will you visit Grand Ram Ranch with Haley Lujan? That's like the island, but for gun tubers is Garantham's Ram Ranch. And Haley Lujan is the Ghislaine Maxwell in this situation. So that's actually probably disturbingly accurate. Ram Ranch, Epstein Island. Yeah. Thank you, Lightsport. Absolute Moonman says, how much for a Lucas Botkin clamshell handguard? I also would buy a wood one or stamped sheet metal. Ideally smells like a peasant made it. Well, the thing with wood handguards that I really don't like is they're terribly inefficient when it comes to heat and gases. Like using them for any sort of sealage or anything, it's just super inefficient. Terrible idea to use it, make it out of wood. Outlaw for 5 says, someone may have said this already, but how about adaptive rail? Well, I don't know what they're calling it yet. Maybe it's just going to be the unnamed rail. But we did talk about that quite a bit earlier because that was 3 hours into the stream. Moonman for 5 says, I am paying Sunny to push you in front of a bus. That might just happen anyways. You know, maybe just wants to do that just for fun. You never know. Ridiculous for 2 says, no, but do you think about GS pre-order? Is it worth it? The Glock store pre-order? If you want one early on, yes, you should pre-order it. Okay. Do I personally think it's worth it to side grade to the Glock Gen 6? No, especially if you already have a Glock. However, this is like elective. This is secondary, tertiary, not particularly important. If you just want a Gen 6 to have a Gen 6, to get it early, you need to pre-order it. That's what I would do. But again, for me, it's like, do I need a Gen 6? No. Would I make content with a Gen 6? Of course I would, right? Because I'm a degenerate YouTuber. But if you don't need it, like, who cares? It's another decent Glock. That's my prediction, okay? Decent Glock. Lightsport for 2 says, students of violence, tell the tubby one hi. Oh, that's so mean. Josh is not even here and he's still catching flack from Lightsport. I appreciate it though. Thank you, sir. Amorite Boy for 2 says, that thing you emailed me about is good with me. Okay, perfect. Yes, because I did. I responded to all my emails. I went through all of them. Justin for $20, dudes. Bro, you've dropped like $200? Actually, no. Sorry, you deserve some Candace for that. Okay.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Justin for 20 says, thanks, dude. I listened to the reels, or to the lives, to the reels while building 8.6 Blackout. But I love y'all's hot take. Okay, so I have a couple people that are big 8.6 defenders in my circle. I can't be bothered. You know, it's like, it's $2 to $3 a round. I have to shoot it out of an AR-10, and I'm like, I don't want to buy a Q boombox. That's not going to happen. I don't have an 8.6 suppressor for it. It's like all of these annoying things about 8.6. It's like, what would I actually rather do? I'd actually just shoot 5.56. That's what I want to do, right? It's like, if I have to shoot something, I have a 300 Blackout that I could shoot. if I wanted really quiet 300 blackout, right? But 8.6 is like, it's big. Sure, it's more effective on target, but I'm gonna be real with you guys. I shoot paper and cardboard targets and occasionally steel. So, like, you know, it's like, do I care about 8.6 terminal effects? No. I am not Kevin. I am not shooting at a endangered wildebeest in Africa. Yeah, you know, it's like not a big deal to me, bro. It's just I shoot paper and steel, so don't really care. Appreciate that though. Maybe for some hunting applications, somebody likes it, but for me, it's like no. Yeah, truth nuke. Hey, I have a thing for that. Where is it? Where are my truth nukes? Where'd they go? Where did you move my truth nukes? Oh, how about this one?
I think it's retarded and gay. Okay.
Oh, truth nuke. Come on. There we go. There's the truth nuke. Boom. That's a good. Oh, truth supernova. And this one's the truth nuke. There we go. I like that one. That one's more violent. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and pull up Ko-Fi real fast. Monoxous becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep, spelled with all Ks, of course. Appreciate that. Mega base of you. Light Spore, rape Sunny to death for $3. Says, Lucas, can you just design a IRL bolter for us to use? Oh, yeah, like a 40K bolter. I'm pretty sure if it was lore accurate, it would kill you if you fired it, though. As you're not as far as I'm aware, Light Spore, you're not an 8'2" space marine. So I think it would actually kill you to shoot it. Light Spore, rapes Sunny to death, says we need to kill all the women that joined DC. DC Comics or Washington, DC? Because, you know, both? What? Both? No. Both. Yes. No. Both. Subarctic Psycho over on Ko-Fi for $10. Thank you, sir. Says, Lucas, you should be bigger, like over 6 feet in height bigger. Grow your legs bigger too. Also, grow some facial hair to cover up your baby face. LMAO, you're a tiny person. You're short. Oh, no, I think Lucas is 6'1", 6'2". Although, to be fair, everybody to me looks tall, right? In comparison to me, everybody looks tall. But listen, I think if I had to guess, I'd say Lucas is 30 pounds up from a couple years ago. So it's progress. And he's working out. He's doing good. Like, what else do you want? Ko-Fi supporter says, shekels for Rabbi Peely. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Best of luck for the based Botkin's future ventures. Absolutely. You guys have been insanely generous. Absolutely nuts. Over here on Ko-Fi, can I get rid of this? Go away. There we go. Space Cowboy over on Rumble, sorry, says, did you see that Piers Morgan's claiming to be Catholic while being in an open relationship and thinking that women should be priests? Yeah, it's you're Catholic in name only, right? Because it's like, do you hold any real Catholic dogma? No. Do you go to confession? Do you take the Eucharist? Are you actually Catholic? It's like, do you believe they should officiate gay weddings? Like, you're against official Catholic dogma, so you can call yourself Catholic all you want, but lame. Justin Space Cowboy for another 5 says, factory comms ready Walker razors. Yeah. That's what I use. I have Walker razors on my helmet, which is like a $50 Amazon special helmet. It works. Okay, it works. I don't care. Lucas can flex on me with his $2,300 helmet. All right, it's fine. I'm not self-conscious at all. Justin Carling for 20 says, love the Candace. I'm all about subsonic, keeping it low and slow.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
All right, gentlemen, that's it, man. We're like out of here, dogs. Okay, that was a lot. I did not think that this was going to go for 3.5 hours. A big thank you again to Lucas for hanging out for 3 of those hours, giving us a lot of time, answering a lot of your guys' silly questions. I am going to drop the link to the Focus Tracks, which is the music channel that you guys have been asking for so long. Focus Tracks is now up. I added 5 more tracks today until I'll keep doing like 5 a week until I get all of them out. I'm going to put up the Focus Clips channel where you can see all sorts of clips and silly stuff in there. Strapped LB donated again, so I'll have to read that out in just a second. Let me actually pull up the second channel because I just put up a short today, dude. This would have been part of a variety stream. I need to do like another stream to catch up on the other streams and the other things that I haven't done yet. But I put this one up today. I just stole it from, I think, what was it, Pam Bondi or somebody else put this up. But this is the Navy SEALs taking that Venezuelan oil tanker. Kind of cool. Tensions are escalating. Yeah, you know, World War III, Oil War III, whatever it might be actually happening. But yeah, you got these guys doing their thing, taking the boat. Fun stuff. Things are escalating in the world. Strapped LB Style for 5 says, focus, what's your story? Give me the elevator pitch, high school to now. So I was homeschooled, pretty easy. Played sports throughout, decided to go to college. I wanted to get into business. So got my economics degree, graduated in 4 years, nothing particularly special, played sports throughout. I was a D1 athlete, a D1, what's the right word for ultimate frisbee. I was the field captain for the ultimate frisbee at CWU. So that was fun. After that, I worked in high-end sales for about a year as an account manager. Absolutely hated it. Soul crushing job. COVID kicked off. I lost my job. I got fired right before COVID kicked off. And then I decided to, you know what? I don't like working for other people. I'm going to work for myself. And that's what I did. 10 years later, here we are, baby. Yeah. I am the... This isn't actually okay, but I do find it funny to call myself the biggest gun tuber streamer because I'm the only one that actively streams or regularly streams and is not a boomer. So, but I'm definitely not, like, any of the other channels could stream and be bigger than me, but I just happen to be the only one that does that. So yeah, there's my thing. All right, well, we're taking the oil, probably. Uncle OG says, can I use the tracks in my next YouTube video without getting nay-nayed into oblivion? No, because I own them. They're my tracks, right? So I have a license with infraction and in audio and with Suno. So it's all mine. So you can't get copyright struck for it, and I won't copyright strike you. So anybody is completely fine to use all of the tracks in my music or in my streams. All good, because it's mine. I own it. So Justin, what is your problem, man? Relax. Says, look at Guyana versus Venezuela, bro. I'm gonna be here for 4 hours, dog. But I mean, come on. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I didn't even know that Guyana was a country. No, dude, if you're out, Justin, did you want me to watch one of these videos, dude? Because I'm not watching 40 minutes of real life lore. Great channel, but not my thing. But yeah, I think that when you're stealing Venezuelan oil tankers, or I shouldn't say stealing, okay, appropriating, or returning to their rightful owners, because I mean, it should all be American, right? It's all ours anyways. We just kind of allow them to operate on their own. But yeah, I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, things are getting a little fun out there. Well, honestly, I think the SEALs were probably just bored, and they were like, "Can we do something? Like, you want to hit that tanker that's shipping oil to Iran or something?" They're not supposed to do that, so we should kind of teach them a lesson. Strapped LB Style says, "I have never been to SHOT Show. How do we apply?" Well, you should. You can't get in unless you are media or you work in the industry. Although you could lie your way in, which people have. But not that I would recommend doing that. But yeah, you go to NSSF, I think is the website. Go there, try to apply. Maybe they'll let you in. You get tickets. It was free up until December 5th. Now you got to pay like $150. Moonman says, copyright strike Uncle OG just for fun. It was a trap. No, not even that. It's going to be worse. I'm not going to copyright strike him. I'm going to make it to where we're revenue sharing on all of his videos, but I'm not going to do it for like a year in advance or something. So he has to go back and like retroactively remove all of my tracks that he's used because I'll be stealing all of his money. It's very Jewish, actually. Very Jewish. I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. I'll be lying my way in to meet you. See, that's the thing, Chud. It's like, okay, I'll meet Chud. I'll meet anybody, right? But, you know, there are some people that would, how do I say this? Present a danger to themselves and to me, right? So we're going to be sharing the $4. Yeah, me and you, OG. Listen, okay, I need another monster. A monster's $3.50, so I think that's well and good. We're retaking Guyana and renaming it Shudana. Based, mega based. Heck yeah. We'll just say here though, dude. I did want to actually chat while everybody is here right now. I wanted to at some point in the future just watch the full interview on stream. Nick v. Piers. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I wanted to watch/react to the entire Nick Fuentes, Piers Morgan debate conversation, because I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there to talk about. Not tonight. At some point in the future. Yeah, maybe a Friday night stream. I think I might actually try and get Prepared Father. You guys know Prepared Father. He asked to come on the show and have a conversation with me, which bold strategy. I think it could work out well. So we could either do a variety stream / reacting to Nick Fuentes on Piers Morgan, or we could do a Prepared Father back and forth. Have a dialectic. All right. This will be the week of interviews. Zadiko for 5 says, still here. Tell a joke. What's the joke? Did anybody get my Negro comment earlier? Lucas didn't. I think Lucas must have missed it when I said it, or he just was trying to ignore it. But did anybody get that joke that I made earlier? The Negro joke? No. Nobody mentioned it in chat, so I was like, they must not have heard it or something. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not upset. It's fine. People ignored me saying it. But okay, what's the good joke? What's a funny joke that I could tell you guys? What do you call a bus full of lawyers at the bottom of the sea? A good start. There you go. Way too simple. I mean, there's probably better jokes I could think of. That one just came to my mind for some reason. Got it right away. Moonman for 5 says, just like my real life, my money overrides democracy. Prepared Father, not Nick. I think we'll do Prepared Father. I think we'll do Prepared Father. I think that would be fun. Do you want to do the whole Nick Fuentes debate as well? Because honestly, the reason why, okay, you guys know why I want to do the Nick Fuentes debate, right? Because some of you guys love him so much, and some of you hate him so much, so much. And that's why, 1, I think it would be fun to watch it because I enjoyed the interview. And 2, I know you guys would be so opinionated, and there would be a financial incentive, let's say, for you guys to air your thoughts on the interview. So, yeah. John's going to abuse a special needs on stream. I hope to have a nice conversation, all right? Just like it was with Sunny. Justin Carling for $20. Bro, stop it. Stop.
I'm kind of retarded.
Oh.
Kill yourself, faggot.
Dude, I love that song. Need to get a 10-hour cut of that. Justin says, Lisa won. What the heck? What is Lisa won? Don't super chat again. Lisa won. What is Lisa won? What? Oh, you're in the oil and gas. Okay, so that's where the money is coming from. Okay, so you have plenty of extra money floating around, and you're like, I'll throw $300 to John on one stream. Fair enough. Fine. I mean, Moonman does the same thing, but usually in smaller increments. Okay, pace yourself. Jeez, Ligma one. Oh, there you go. I see. Oil and gas. Thank you. Let's see. Moonman for 5 says Nick is brown and likes men, like his 15-year-old fans. Listen, Nick is a quarter Mexican, right? His dad's half Mexican, so he's quarter Mexican. So, well, actually, I take that back. So, when you think about it, he's not white at all. Like Nick is just objectively not white because his dad's Mexican and Irish, so not white, and then his mom's Italian, so literally not white. Literally not even white at all, like 0% white. So it's one of those things. Sorry to all the Irish and Italian people out there who had to figure out this way, but not white. All right. And listen, I'm a black Scot. Okay, so I don't have much of a white card either. So just saying, me and Nick are in the same boat here. Moonman for 2 says he's not white and he defends a brown boy groomer. See, this is the thing. It's already happening. I just mention Nick and people throw money at me to talk bad things about Nick or to talk good things about Nick. That's a joke, of course. Irish is, of course, white, right? It's a joke, right? Because the Irish and Italian immigrants, when they first came to America, they were hated. They were viewed as second-class citizens. They were viewed as inferior to the other superior white races that were already here. And what's funny, even back then, they were used to be voting blocks, to be demographic change in the U.S., kind of like how you see now with other racial groups being brought to the U.S. So it is mostly a joke. I love Irish people. They're like my third favorite group of white people. Fourth, fifth, top 10 white people, Irish. Yeah. And about him defending a brown boy groomer, I don't know the full details of that story, but listen, Nick has done some silly things. Just a couple oopsies in his career. He's a young man making some mistakes. So like I'm a little bit more charitable because I think young men should be allowed to make some mistakes and have some bad judgments here and there because I've had my own share of bad judgment calls in the past. So I'm a little bit compassionate in that way, but it's when you see a pattern of certain behaviors, that's when, maybe some of these people are a little sus. The founding fathers would deport NJF and Focus. Hell, I'm Scottish, okay? I'm Scottish and English, so I actually clear. I'm good. I'm all right, all right? I'm from nobility as well, okay? I'm not like you peasants out there. I have royal blood in me, okay? I'm related to the throne through the Duke of Argyle, so I'm good. I'm good, dog, all right? Totally not coping. Thundercats for 5 says you should interview Proximity Chat. He records and mocks VTubers, causing them to crash out. He has a YouTube channel that is hilarious. I think I've seen his stuff before. Yeah. Somebody calling me inbred. No, you're thinking about English royalty. Gross, disgusting. Unbelievable. Chud says, I'm Aryan. Haha, you're not Aryan. That was a heresy that was crushed in like the 3rd century. Get real. Well, English and British, yeah. Yeah, some of the memes are true. That's why I love generalizations. It works out great. Moonman for 5 says he also hates the working class, even though Jesus was a carpenter. Also, no VTubers. I don't want my types of content to mix like races. Yuck. Just for that, I am going to get one of them on, and it's going to be awful. The chat's going to hate it, but they'll also love it at the same time. We will mix our content styles. Okay, we're doing some hood shenanigans, some hood brewery up in this chat. Okay. That's not true. No. We defended our queen. Okay, our queen. It was our victory. And also, we couldn't have led to the destruction of the other Highland groups, the McDougalls, the McDonald's, because that would insinuate that McDonald's are people. Fringe, right? I mean, come on. It's like Irish, Italian, McDonald's. Okay, so like murdering McDonald's, like you can't even call it murder. It's more like pest control. All right, no problems. I haven't had a bathroom break. What are you talking about? It's been 4 hours. All right. Gosh dang it. As soon as I try and leave. Moonman for 5 says Remy Springs is a gun VTuber, but I don't think she even swears, let alone could survive chat. Remy Springs. Who the heck is Remy Springs? I haven't heard that one. Oh no. Oh no.
Hi everyone, it's Remy. I'm so excited to finally be back. We have so much cool stuff coming up. I'm so happy. We have new videos and older videos. If you missed the nostalgia, I was able to get some that we can finally go back and enjoy once again.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm going to get her on. How about that? I'm going to spite all of you. The first woman on stream will actually be a man. All VTubers are been, by the way. Died of cringe. Yeah, that's cringe. All right. Well, what a wacky end to this stream. Thank you, Moonman, for the suggestion. I greatly appreciate that. Remy Springs, future guest of the Focus Strip live show. But with all of that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless. And God bless to Lucas and to Kara. Appreciate them giving up their time to come on here, hang out. Great time for all involved. And I wish them well, and I hope to see them at SHOT Show this year. That should be fun. But the reason why I paused there is because Justin Carling interrupted my outro.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Black Irish here. No, the U.S. oil state stagnant is stagnant. Do you mean stagnant? What do you mean, Josh? Don't super chat, but what do you mean stagnant? Black Irish here. No, the U.S. oil state strategic or staggeric? What do you mean by staggeric? Is there outsiders of the hurricane belt? Hurricane belt. Black Irish here. Well, I mean, Black Irish. I mean, it's still Irish. Strategic. Yeah, the U.S. oil state strategic is there outsiders of the hurricane belt strategic. That's what I think you mean. I think that's what you mean. Black can't spell many such cases. True. I can't talk, dude. 3 hours, almost 4 hours into a stream. Yeah, sure. All right, Hook. All right. Moonman for 2 says you, Sunny, front of a bus. What? You're upset that Remy is going to be coming on the show? You should be happy. Okay? Hook's having a moment in chat. All right, fair enough. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. My heart goes out to you. God bless.
Cannot believe how beautiful